Thank you very much. Guys, welcome to the stream. Another week of the Ozu interview. I'm very, very excited this week. This is the 7th week, I believe, in the series. So just a reminder, the original idea was to do the top 10 guild on Northside. So we're at number 7 week. This week is the guild RIP, one of the OG original guild, to without the pun, right? One of the original guild of the server. I believe they got created very, very soon in phase 1, probably in the first few days. This is what one of the things that we will learn tonight. So very, very, very anxious. I do believe we will have a very good night. Oh, one thing as well. We're not having one interview tonight, but we're having two. This is the first time that a guild, not only the GM, but also the raid leader. This is super cool. I said to all of the GM so far, if they wanted to invite someone, they had the possibility. Nobody did it because I do believe that when you have the role of GM, a lot of the time you also have the role of the raid lead. It comes end in end, and I think it is for a lot of guild it is what it is. But for once tonight we seem to have a clear defined role between the GM and the raid leader. This will be super fun, I think, and also something that I believe that a lot of guild can learn, having a good management, having different people with different role. It helps a lot, even more when you're managing 40 raiders like me who doesn't give a fuck and that want to do some stupid stuff. So having two different management, having multiple different management with the officer is actually super good. So enough babbling on my part. Without further ado, let's welcome Manbane and Zufer. Guys, thank you very much to come. How are you guys tonight?
Thanks for inviting us, Ozu. I'm doing fine.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's great.
It's super pleasure for me to have you here tonight to talk about RIP, to talk about you guys' experience in Classic, from, I believe, start to finish, right?
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
Let's start with your experience. First of all, have you played in vanilla?
Yes, very much so.
Very much so.
I think both me and Zufer are one of those oldies that has played since the start of World of Warcraft, or at least at the very beginning of it.
Yeah. I think it's good that you tell how your experience was through retail, Manbane, and I can do that for myself too afterwards, maybe.
Sure. Well, I actually started my whole journey as Alliance.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, man.
Me too.
You better drink some more wine. This is going to be a rough journey. I managed to get up to 35 level of rogue, but I thought it was an RPG game, and role-playing started on Argenton. And as a role-playing server, playing a rogue, what do you do as a rogue? You steal.
Exactly.
So I got blacklisted on the server because I stole everybody's chests around there. And I said, well, it's part of the game, man. What the hell? Well, anyways, so I had to re-roll Horde. And that's when actually Manbane got created. So that was, I don't know, 2004, 2005, something.
Okay.
Yeah. But I created my own guild. I had a lot of gaming buddies that joined up. It was not until TBC where I applied to Zufer's guild called Illumination, and it actually skyrocketed from there. Did my most hardcore days in TBC, and up to Wrath, and I played all the expansions basically, and I called the quits in retail in what do you call it? The latest troll expansion, the crappy one. Zandalari, blah blah blah. Yeah.
I'm not a retail player, so I don't know.
Yeah, BFA. Battle for Azeroth. It
Okay,
was so crap I can't even remember the name.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's when. Sorry.
You didn't? Have you tried Shadowland?
Yep, I have.
Okay.
I dinged, and then I logged out.
Okay. So it wasn't you lost interest. I'm guessing you lost interest in retail after
yeah, I didn't manage to catch my attention. Can't say really why, but there's not much to do out in the world that actually is fun for me, at least. Many people enjoy it. I don't.
Okay.
So in BFA, I thought I was done with World of Warcraft in fully. Even though the rumors about Classic being announced, blah blah blah, I was pretty much done with World of Warcraft at that point. But then they released Vanilla, or rather, the announcement of Vanilla Classic. And for some weird reason, sitting there with two of my friends, I just said, well, guys, I'm going to do this. Jesus, man, I'm going to do one more project, and it's going to be it. And I started to hook up with my old network. If you play the game since 2004, 2005, your network is obviously pretty large.
That's true.
And if you also have been the recruiter, the GM or co-GM, raid organizer, as I've been for the last 10 years, your network is probably even larger. So that's what I did. And Zufer got, I saw that Zufer also was interested. So I gave him a sharp poke, as he was the GM and raid leader back in TBC and Wrath. And I think actually, Zufer, this is a good time for you to jump in and tell your story.
Yeah, sure, man. I got a huge experience in the early days of Vanilla. I started playing the last few weeks of the European beta, and I started playing at release in February 2005. Started also on Alliance, played with a real life friend for a few months. We dinged 60. I was a Warlock, but we couldn't find any group, so my friend stopped playing. So I decided to reroll, and I rerolled Zufer. Started playing in August. In the summer, I joined a guild, do some molten core. And during that time, I became a counselor in that guild, did some raid leading and stuff like that, until the end when the hard raids were released, Naxxramas and AQ. We couldn't clear those places, and some people preferred to farm certain content, which I didn't want because I preferred progression. So I called it at the end of Vanilla a day and stopped playing because I wanted to progress the harder bosses. Once the Burning Crusade got released, it started itching again, so I bought the game, played, and all people contacted me, hey, Zufer, you're back, hey. So we started talking, and then the idea of starting a guild popped in my mind, starting a raid community. So I created Illumination back then. Semi-pucks we had to do McTarraton, Gruul and stuff like that. And slowly we grew into a pretty decent guild. It was on the server Argendan, and Manbane joined, I think, around server Rankaven. And we were something like the 4th, 5th guild on the server. And during our Sunwell progress, we became the top dog on the server, server firsts. And we kept that positioning all through Wrath of the Lich King. And
Nice.
at the end, I decided to call it a day because 2007, 8, 9, 10 was 4 years of doing everything. Raid leading, GM was a little bit too much. So I said, okay, I'm done with this game. So I quit it. During those 9 years before Classic got released, Manbane sometimes contacted me. So we had sometimes a little bit of chats. And he was always poking if I was interested in raid leading his guilds he did through retail. I think he did some BFA raiding, I'm not entirely sure, but I always said no until I think in 2018 Classic got announced, and I said, okay, I'm coming back. I didn't decide yet to raid lead, but just play again. And like 6 months before Classic release, I was like, yeah, some stuff happened in my life and I got a little bit more time in the evenings to play. So I said, okay, Manbane, I can do the raid leading in your guild. We know each other pretty well, so we know how we work. And we agreed that I will do the raids and the structure of the raids, and Manbane would do the external communications, the recruitment, and I was responsible for the raids. So I made decisions there. So a really strict dividing between the roles we had, and I think that worked pretty well so far, but we're going to talk about that in this interview, and that's my my experience.
What so you created Zufer. What is the class? What is your class today? Back then,
priest.
sorry, back then.
Priest. I played priest. I played the Holy Priest in vanilla, and then the Burning Crusade I started with Shadow Priesting, and I Shadow Priest in Classic. Yeah.
Perfect. And for you, Manbane? Back then, Warlock all around?
I'm a one-trick pony. If you ask me to play anything else, I can rather play something else.
It's the same with me. I'm a one-button guy, chain heal, and that's all I need
exactly.
to know.
One-button guy. you want to play vanilla again? It's like, tempting. Let's see. Advanced rotations, warlocks. Yeah, one button. Yeah, I can do that. TBC, even easier.
But you get to be top dog in TBC though. That's we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. But warlocks and hunters are top dogs in TBC. Okay, so you guys known each other for quite a while. So when TBC was announced, when Classic was announced, you guys decided, okay, let's give Classic a go. Where was it only the two of you from, let's say, the old days, the old crew, or did some of the guys that you've been keeping contact, raiding with on retail also followed you guys?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, a lot.
I had a network from the retail, the mythic retail scene, that wanted to do Classic, and I also had we had a Facebook group from the old days, and they were also very interested in doing something. So we hooked both groups up, and it looked like we were too many there for a while. And I think we stopped recruiting 3-4 months before the launch.
During the summer, I think. Yeah. I mean,
summer.
we have players in the team which I raided with in the summer of 2005. So people are 4 or 5. So yeah.
Imagine, but that's crazy from my point of view, and I think for every GM that I interview so far, stopping recruitment before the game is even out.
Yeah,
that's
like we had strong groups. We had strong groups and strong networks to call on people.
Yeah, we think we have at least always a very loyal group of people who like to play with each other. So
that's pretty good. My hats off to you guys. I think it's an exploit to keep the network, to keep those players, to keep all these guys around you for so long as well. I mean, we're talking years, right? and they still want to play as a group. You still want to play as a group. It's super nice to see.
I must say that's really well done by Manbane, because lots of people I played with back in the day I didn't have any contact with anymore. But Manbane knows everyone, so yeah, it's a true salesman.
Nice. Why? Okay. Why choose PVE server? Mirage Raceway. Was there? Because you said you were on the RP server back then. Why chose? I mean, I can phantom about 1,000 reasons why to choose a PVE rather than the RP server, but I'll let you guys tell me why.
Yeah, I can tell you why. Because I have been recruiting on an RP server since 2005. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I'm not doing that again. Sorry, all RPers. You're wonderful people, but you suck at the game.
Can you give us an example, a story maybe of how recruitment would work on our RP server? I'm interested, and I've never saw that.
It's similar, but the pool of actually skilled raiders are smaller.
Okay.
So it's more frustrating to recruit, in all honesty. The people on RP server are generally more friendly. They're not so hyped about the forum talks, etc. They're more involved in their RP communities, or to a large degree at least. But when it comes to the progression scene, mythic raiding scene, etc., the pool of people to actually choose from is very, very limited.
I think that changed a lot over the years, probably. I remember from our time in Wrath of the Lich King, when you were really the best of the server, and you could get the achievements, the titles. We never had problems with recruitment, but I understand it's a smaller pool and a different mindset, and I think it's a good choice for us to have gone to a PvE server for Classic.
Do you have to? I'm guessing. Do you have to recruit in roleplay? I mean, it's not. This is. I have no experience in roleplay.
No.
But do you ask? I mean, you cannot ask the guy. Yeah, can I see your logs? Can you? I mean.
Back in the day, we recruited just exactly as on the PvE server. So the rating was not in roleplay. You just did like normal voice chat, normal communication, just like we do now. Only in the world, in the game, some people like to role play. I never role played much, but I wanted a friendly environment.
Okay, at least, because this is what I wanted to know. I mean, imagine recruiting in RP and role play, and oh my god, that must be painful.
Yeah. Hello, good sir. Nice to find you in Goldshire again. Would you like to come with me to this bush? Just want to talk about raiding and stuff, you know?
That's a bit weird though. Go to the bush.
No. My bush is very finely trimmed. You will like it.
That's a typical Manbane jokes. That is bush.
This is. This is. I personally okay. I've played a little on the RP, but this is something I'm not playing World of Warcraft for RP. I can admire the RP. From some players, they really push it and they do it well. I respect it, but I'm not really too much into it, and it's funny to watch anyway.
Yeah, but keep in mind, raiding is totally separate from the role playing.
Okay.
The raiding is just like on other servers.
Yeah. At least I mean, holy shit, that must be. Otherwise, I mean, your raid will last. That would be so.
You had a fine guild back in Argenton in the vanilla days. They had a guy server transferring with full tier 3. And on Argenton, there was not many guilds clearing Nax. I don't think anyone did, actually.
None did.
And but they had a guy who server transferred to them into Alliance guild called the Flaming Ruby, I think it was. Flaming Ruby. And as he transferred to an RP server, he actually thought that they RP'd in the raids. So he did Naxxramas machine /walk.
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine being the raid leader. You see this. What do you do, Zufer?
No. In my raids, we don't walk. No. I got a very typical way of raid leading, and one of the newer guys at Naxxramas said, a guy who also raided on his main, I think in OK, not entirely sure, could be East too, and he said, "Damn, you guys are like robots." So yeah, we are very structured.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys decided to come on a PvE server. You chose Mirage Raceway. Did you all? I'm guessing you all came at the same time on the opening, the opening day. You had, I'm guessing, you had all your plan laid out, as I can imagine because you actually the recruitment stopped 3 months before. So everybody follow, everybody came on the first day. Did you create the guild on the first day? How was the how did that happen?
I can say that Arcane actually sponsored half of the goal to create the guild. She was in RIP at the very early stage.
I did not know that.
No, but we were
a month or two, I think. Yeah.
We were too slow. She wanted faster progress. So she left for some other guild. Anyways, first day, yeah.
So, yeah, and the plan was to start official raiding exactly 3 months after release. So the game got released on the 27th of August, and I think October 27th we start official raiding, but in reality we started 1 month earlier because everyone was level 60 already. Yeah.
How was the leveling? Did you guys level as a guild? Did you do dungeon? Did you do group things? Or everybody kind of did their things, if I can say?
We had several groups. We had some groups who were really fast, who were the hardcore players who played like 16 hours a day, and you had the group of people who were more relaxing, who had more that things, whose level slower. But you had a group of I think 15-20 people who were level 60 within a few weeks probably. Manbane thing, I think it'll even better.
Yeah, I kept a spreadsheet of everybody leveling, had different colors for the different brackets. So I can poke people that were in the red. I was like, "How you going, buddy? You really want to raid with us? You really want to raid with us?"
Yeah, we gave him lots of time. On purpose, we decided to give people 3 months to level before we say you are too slow.
That's actually 3 months is actually a lot to level from 1 to 60.
I think Titans, Ease, OK, all those guilds who started in the early days already cleared multicore before we even set our first feet in there. Yeah.
3 months is quite a lot. Okay, so I'm actually not surprised that you guys kept a spreadsheet. I mean, we are going to talk about it a bit later, but I've learned the 7 Ps yesterday. We'll talk about it maybe in Molten Core. Okay, so everybody leveled. You said everything was defined. So 3 months later, we will start doing MC. Well, actually, you did it in 2 months. What was before going into MC? What was the preparation for to go in MC? Did you guys? I'm guessing you had the checklist of here's what we need from everybody. Here's what we need as a guild to be able to clear MC quite comfortably on our first night.
Yeah, we prepared, of course, all the tactics and stuff. But because we started 1 month early before the official release, we didn't have the loot system in place. We didn't have the Black Lotus system in place. We went in, and of course, we knew the tactics, but lots of people were BES, pre-raid BES, and a lot of people were still in greens. So we had a quite a mix of people, so it was a little bit like, what will happen? Although we saw from older guilds that it wasn't that difficult, so we could go in quite relaxing, and yeah, the first evening was quite easy. So yeah, I think we had 2 wipes, one on Gar and one on Major Domo, and the place was cleared. So yeah,
That's pretty good. So there was no requirements, or did you add a minimum requirement like pre-raid bis and stuff like that?
We had the pre-raid BIS list that was circulating on our Discord from before.
Okay.
But I mean, I think everybody passed that list anyway, so we didn't really focus on it.
We encouraged it, but there were some people who were a little bit slower with leveling, who you of course say, okay, just come. You have been loyal all these years to us. You deserve that spot. And of course, the majority had lots of BIS, and we were grinding dungeons as a team. But it was not a hard requirement. If you do not have X, you will not join the raid. That was not the case.
Okay. Only 2 wipes on that first night. That's
Yes.
pretty good. That's actually pretty awesome. So no walls. Everything went smooth.
Yeah.
For a few things. For the I don't remember the water things. You guys were prepared, I'm guessing. So you had a few. How did you manage that? Did you have a few players already prepare,
Yeah.
or you had to do the?
No, we had people who were really quickly at 60 who did some. I think they did some raiding with Consanguius when the early days when he still needed people. That's kind of stuff. So we had enough water. So yeah.
Okay. Did you prepare by going into, because talking with the other GM at the beginning, first phase, first week, there was there was a few pugs going around because not everybody could raid within their guild because they were not level 60, so on and so forth. Did you guys went in with pugs waiting for your old guild to be level 60, or you actually did not do any pugs at all and you said we are going in full guild or not at all?
I didn't do any pugs because when I was ready, we started raiding.
Yeah, but we had some people, Greeds, Fella maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some people that were ready
Bumble.
quite early. Pumps as well.
Yeah.
That was going with Consang, doing some stuff as well for 1 or 2 weeks, maybe something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, a few people. Maybe there were more, but I don't remember that at that many.
Did you do pugs, Manbane? No, right?
No.
So you waited. That's pretty good, I think. Being, I mean, we played this game. I'm sure it's the same case for you guys. We played this game to raid, so waiting, I'm sure patiently for the whole guild to be ready to do MC. That's pretty cool for your guildies. It shows something really nice.
Yeah, but the guild was created by Manbane, of course, with he had in mind that we have lots of people who don't have much time to raid 3-4 evenings. We all 2 evenings a week for 3 hours, and also that reflects in the leveling because we have Manbane calls that we are some kind of dead guild. So yeah, you need to keep that into consideration. Yeah.
Was Ragnaros? Did he submerge?
Yes.
Once?
He submerged. Yes, once. And we killed the sons of Ragnaros and he went down. It was, of course, you saw it was a little bit of a disappointment and difficulty because I remember from back in the day when we were all noobs in the game mechanics and we didn't know the perfect things people learned from the private servers. We had quite some problems with Ragnaros back in the day.
Indeed.
And now it was like, whoa, he's at 5% before submerge. And the Sons went down like that too. It was like, okay. So that was for me personally a little bit of a letdown. That I hoped for a little bit more difficulty in those early days too. But of course, the patch 1.12 with all the new gear, with the refaced gear already, had of course some influence. And yeah, the knowledge is so huge nowadays.
Were you anxious to see? I don't want to go there right now, but I have to ask a question. Were you anxious for BWL to have a little bit more of a challenge?
Yeah, but I have been every new raid anxious because I never felt that we were really pressured, that we had difficulty. And it's not difficulty about skill or about playing, but more about stamina, about the people. Do they have the stamina to endure wiping? Because if you can endure wiping, then you can always progress, because people need to stay in the guild to have stability. And that's what I've always been a little bit afraid of. But yeah, even in Blackwing Lair, we didn't get that much pressure from the bosses.
That's true. Okay, so you clear MC on the first night, first week, let's say, as a guild, as RIP. What was the following weeks? What was the focus on? A lot of the GM that I've talked to in on this series was either progress, or most of them was about speed, the speed running. Was that something that you guys set as a goal in the beginning or during MC, or was it entirely based on progress? What was, let's say, the guild motto, if I can put it that way?
Yeah.
Execution.
The what? Execution?
Speed running. Some people wanted to do that, but I hate that. It's not my thing.
Okay.
I prefer to have a relaxing raid lead evening instead of everyone pushing. So we never used flasks after in molten core. Only some people who decide themselves use some potions, use some word buffs that were never a requirement.
Okay. Word buff?
Yeah, people could take that, but it's not a requirement. Some people did, some people didn't.
Okay.
But speedrunning is something we never did. Some people want to do it. We had discussions about it. Hey, maybe we should do it. But if I'm raid leading, I need to decide if I can have fun or not. And I know it's not my style. I prefer controlled fighting. And I get more pleasure in killing, for example, Ragnaros with a submerge, because you have to control the Sons, instead of just burst and brute force him down within that minute. That gives me more pleasure. So of course we killed Ragnaros a lot of times without submerging, but I prefer really technical fights where you have to think position stuff. That's what I like.
Were you pressure from the guildies, from the guild, saying, okay, maybe we can and should do the burn tactic instead of was there ever pressure, or everybody was cool with we always focus on execution and this is our thing, this is our goal?
But we had burn stuff too, but not the whole raid. Of course, on Mother, not on Mother Shazra, but on Shazra, what's it called, the one after Cannon, killing it within 20 seconds, stuff like that. Of course, so that stuff I called out, but not the whole raid where we need to trash bulk really quickly. I prefer to do that relaxing.
Okay, perfect. Let's talk about a subject. This is the first time that I will address this subject, the world boss. I think you guys, if I'm not mistaken, I think you know better than me, but I think you guys were the first Horde guild to actually kill some world boss on our server. Am I right?
Yes, you are right. Yeah.
So, and this happened, the first world boss you guys killed was between MC and BWL. So, how did that happen? How did you prepare? What was the goal behind? Because from my point of view, like I said, I came in a bit late on the server. And every time I was asking about world buff, about the dragons and so on, the usual response I would get, and this is not only from my guild, but for about everyone on our side, is that those world boss are locked down by Alliance. There's no way us as Horde can kill them. So for you guys to have killed a few back then was actually an exploit, and lead us through that.
Yeah. What's for us was important is we always want progress. We want to kill a boss. So the Kazakh and Azurgos, I think, got released in December or something like that. And Alliance got them locked down really hard. But we made a pretty plan with pumps. We made a huge plan in how we could do that. We had scouts up in the evenings. Only in the evenings because lots of people from us are still at work, and we know that Discipline, all those guys from Alliance were scouting 24/7. But we got Kazakh one time, I think in the second week that he was up, we got Kazakh, and I think a week later we got Azurgos once. We killed them only once in the early days. Because then the motivation dropped for us too, because we had to kill.
How does that... So they spawn...
Yeah, we have scouts. So someone, when they spawn, you get a warning. We pop on Discord. And it was, of course, in the evening hours because people are at home then. So we got for Kazakh, I think, around 20 people, Manbane, something like that. And yes. we had summoners up, of course. So we made the group start summoning. And then you see all the portals on the net on your side with Alliance Guild summoning. So it was like, yeah, that's really stressful. And at some point I say, let's pull. And yeah, we were the first one to tag him. And yeah, it's that. As a Guros is a little bit more difficult because you can pull him with the skeleton crew. And we didn't have a skeleton crew, but in the early days, they weren't that organized yet, Discipline. So we had twice a tag. One tag, we killed him. And the second tag, we had, I think, someone from one of the Horde guilds who was taunting him away, and we were not prepared for that, so they released at some point because someone was interfering with the pool. So in the early days, we killed both Azurgos and Kazakh one time, both Horde first, but not Alliance killed them already before a few times.
That's congratulations. I think
thank you.
I think you're the only guild to have killed them back then. I'm a bit sad on one thing. You said you killed Kazakh with a 20-man crew. About
something like that, yeah.
Did you expect to kill him with those 20, around 20, or I mean, did you expect something more difficult?
The difficulty is not how many people you have, but that you pull in time. We had few pulls too that we wiped. We have done more pulls in those days, but you see a team next to you also summoning. So at some point you need to make calls. So I made like 5 or 6 bad calls too, and that we got wiped.
That's true.
But maybe it was 30. I don't remember exactly anymore. But yeah, we pulled and yeah, he went down really quickly. But Kazakh is a fight which you need to burst down anyway because of the mana stuff.
Yeah. Pretty good. Like I said, congratulations again. I'm guessing this was quite an exploit on our side. I'm guessing it helped. Well, did it help? Maybe more a question for Manbane. Did it help in terms of recruitment, in terms of people wanting to be part of what you guys had and so on?
Of course, undisputed Horde first. Come on, man. Of course, I have to spam it in the chat. That's very, very important. But Well, I mean, being in a guild is not everything. You know the famous guy that the chat is ranting about? You know the quote?
No?
I can quote it for you.
Yeah?
You people are disgusting, by the way. You think being a guild makes you good at the game when you're not? You mock dedication simply because you have none. You bend the knee to boost the potatoes and get raids handed to you.
That's pretty good.
That's Salastras, like 2 a.m. in the morning. It's a wonderful guy. I miss him.
Yeah, there's plenty of code coming from him. I've played with him once or twice, and yeah, that's quite a character. Next topic, BWL. Tell me a little bit about your preparation, and also when did RIP, because just a step back, today RIP is known as being the most prepared guild on the server for every raid, every phase that got released. Me personally, this is how I know RIP. I've read yesterday the 7Ps. So when did you guys said that, okay, we are going to be prepared for everything that comes at us, no matter what?
I want to change that a little bit. The goal of the guild and of the raid was to clear Naxxramas.
Okay.
So everything we did was in preparation for Naxxramas. That's also the reason that we never used flasks in earlier raids.
Okay.
So the preparation is really for Naxxramas. For Blackwing Lair, we used a few flask on tanks and normal preparation, of course, tactics and watching stuff.
Videos and, yeah.
But the true preparation has always been our goal is to clear Naxxramas as a guild, because that's something we never did in vanilla, and that's what we wanted to do. So I think Manbane has a really nice story for Blackwing Lair, the first raid, what we needed to do to even start the raid. Maybe Manbane can tell that.
Want to start the raid for BVL?
We had to do MC.
Oh, to drag the people through.
To get a tranquilizing shot.
Oh yeah. But the start of BVL.
Yeah.
We were one hunter short because we had two hunters being sick, so they couldn't raid. Which is strange. When you're sick, that's when you raid. Anyways, they couldn't attend, so we only had one hunter, which meant that we had Laz take his hunter and we dragged him really quick through MC so we would get the trank shot book. And when we got the trank shot book, turn around, out again, into BVL. Now we got two hunters with trank shot. Great. Now we can manage.
Good thing it's the second boss, I think, in MC. So good thing it's not one of the last boss. It's a let's say a quick in and out. That's pretty funny though. Okay, you mentioned, Zufer, that every preparation was for Nax. See, from my part as an outsider of the guild, I always thought that you guys always prepare for every raid. So it's good to.
But I meant the stuff we had in someone Jahoon we had as a guild banker who managed to stock everything we needed, or a lot of what we needed for Naxxramas. So the 6,000 protection potions, all that stuff, that was all done from the start till phase 6. Of course, preparing the tactics, talking with the tanks or what they need to do on Firema, how they need to do stuff, discussing that with each other and with the tactics, the big tactician Pumple, about how we do stuff. We did it, of course, before Blackwing Lair, but we didn't go like all out with flasks. We had potion requirements on progression, but that was just basic potions, like one offensive potion, like agility potion and a strength potion, casters and what they use, the frost potion, I think, and Blackwing Lair, stuff like that, but not huge requirements. So you have to take like 2 potions plus food. No world buff requirements, although the majority, of course, took world buffs because we all want to progress.
Yeah,
everything is. I can add to that because everything when we started to talk about this, and you will probably want to discuss also the what most of the other guilds know about us, the Black Lotus preparation. Everything we did for preparation was, as Zufer said, was for Naxxramas, but we did it all of it for one boss. Can you guess what boss it is? The hardest boss in Naxxramas.
There's 2 brick wall in Nax. I think if I look at the big picture, would be either be 4 Horsemen or Sephiron. These are the 2, I think, blockers for every guild.
Yeah, but this boss is harder. It's the roster boss, because what kills most guilds in Naxxramas is the roster, right? And the most difficulty is having the most loyal raiders to be there for Naxxramas. And we knew that even if we don't sometimes have to recruit somebody that probably not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he will be loyal as fuck, then that's a better choice. All the investments in gear and everything will be better spent to him than a guy that's super skilled and will just jump to some speedrunning guild later on, etc., etc. So we added all those. We added the Black Lotus scheme, which we have loads of awesome stories about, of course. And we kept all the flasks to a minimum to save the economy of our raiders as much as possible, because we imagined Naxxramas being the most expensive and gold consuming raid there is.
Yeah, well, what was a good thing, the Black Lotus idea we already discussed, me and Manbane, in the summer before Classic release, from what do we need to do, what will be a problem, what will be the most difficult part. So potions and loyalty. So we discussed, well, how shall we do it? And we came to the Black Lotus donation 1 a week to a max of 50. Because if someone invests in the guild, he creates a bond with the guild, which makes it more difficult for someone to leave. If someone still leaves, we still have a little bit of value, which we can use for Naxxramas for people. I mean, the most demotivating thing is when you have one goal as guild, clearing Naxxramas, and people leave after Blackwing Lair. Then I would not have want to play this game, because I did that 15 years ago. I came here and Manbane came here to clear Naxxramas, because that's what we never did in vanilla. So even if people leave, you have some value left, of course. And you can make the nicest loot systems with DKP and whatever. The biggest loss is always someone who leaves the raid, who has a Drake Fang Talisman, who has a full tier 2. That's what something you need to regear. So for us, it was really important to make sure the raid stick together as much as possible. And we had several things. We had some social stuff, Manbane, Pumple doing a lot of social stuff, keeping people connected in Discord, having the chats with each other, so people became a group of friends. And I was a little bit more on the outside and be the bad cop more often, because I was the raid leader. But you need to fulfill those roles to make sure everyone wants to play. And of course, always some people say, nah, this is not for me, but that's fine. Respect in both ways. People can choose, this is not for me. But most people who joined us and didn't like it left within a month. People who liked it stayed. Of course, we have people who left after 8 or 9 months. That happens. But the people quitting over the course of 1.5 years is pretty low. And you have to think people who raided longer than 1 month, under 20 people who left us with a raid pool of 49, 50 people. So I can check the Black Lotus list that I make in a spreadsheet that I had more than 30 people who donated 50 Black Lotus. That means those people raided for at least 50 weeks with RIP.
Being part of a goal, being part of a guild, being part of creating something, building something. I think this is what it comes down to. You did it your way, and I think it worked. How many in a insight? How many people left overall? Because you're talking about loyalty. Basically, did your system work?
I have a list of everyone who left, and I have counted people who left after their trial, which was 2 weeks. And I also took the people who left within 1 month, and I come at 26 people who left. And this is measured since the first official raid in October 2019. So and I got all the names I got here and the reasons why they left. I keep everything I checked, so I know what happened.
So 20 odd something raider left from the guild since phase 1, basically, which is I don't know about the other guild. I seems quite low. So
I think stability is our strength, but Manbane knows better. I've never been really into making contacts with other guilds because I prefer to focus on my role. That's my strength. If I need to talk with other guilds on Discord, I will become rude and make bad comments. So Manbane does the external communication, so Manbane knows probably better.
Yeah, from my experience over the course of the game, the classic experience, recruitment-wise, was the easiest to recruit ever. Because I didn't have to recruit that much. There was some sweaty times when we were down to 46, I think.
46 and it's sweaty time. That's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I mean? It's so for me, that's like I really want to have like 10 people that I could bench and have something good for Zufer to make good setups with. So and it was quite some long period of time that we had 1 or 2 spots for recruitment, but it wasn't really necessary, so I didn't actively look. It was happy time as a recruiter. I'm a lazy guy, and that was a perfect thing to do for me.
One thing you actually 2 things, but one thing you mentioned right there, and that got me remember something. You said the bench. So you guys had the bench system in place, and I think your bench system was really important because I got some information, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong. I got some information that no matter what, if it was your time to bench, it was your time to bench. There was no going around it. There was no way around it. So it was fair for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the setup, so I did the benching, and I kept track of everyone who got the bench. People could see that. Of course, there were certain roles, so I had the tank role, melee role, range DPS role, and healer role. So those were separate groups. But yeah, I just most of the time did go from up, down, and in a row people get benched, and then the second row, so people could see that it was fair. And of course, sometimes I had to make a small change due to balance reasons, but everyone could see when they if they got banished, everyone got informed, because I think that's important. Inform people, it's your bans. And I made the setup always the evening before the raid. And I said, you don't have to be online. You can go outside, go have fun with friends, because I think it's awful for people to say you cannot raid, but you have to wait outside. That's awful. So I always ask people, if you want to be available for replacement, you can tell me in case someone drops out. And I always had a few people available for replacement. So we could fill up if someone got sick or whatever. But that's one of the most important things too, as you said, benching. You need to be fair to people. And that's not only with benching, that's with the loot system. That's with what I saw back in the day a lot, is that the GM, the raid leader, they did get the legendaries, and they got this and they got that. Loot is important for people. That's part of the game. So our system also, everyone has equal rights on all loot.
You're running a group loot, if I'm not mistaken, right?
We run a agreed need system, yeah, so simple rolling. And that's also psychology, because if I become a loot counselor and I say, this item fits best on Manbane, this item, then I, a human being, am the evil which decides where loot goes. A dice, people can get angry at dice, but they can let they can let it go if that happens. So I'm always in huge favor of very simple loot systems. And I also think if people know what they can expect and you tell them beforehand, then they can decide this is something for me or this is not something for me. And some people said, no, I prefer DKP. Yeah, that's fine. Then this is not the guild for you.
Okay. Yeah. That was actually my second thing, the loot system. I saw that. I was looking at one of you guys, one of your raiders stream. I think was the first kill of KT, or the second kill of KT actually. Anyway, there was a THC that dropped, and I saw that it was a group loot system, and you're probably the only guild, if I'm not mistaken, and probably one of the only or few guilds that are running that system, and it's
you need to have trust, and of course some people will at times abuse it, but there was one major rule in the end: the raid leader can decide. So I could overrule, and I did once or twice, I think, during Classic. Don't know exactly the I think once for balance, or if I'm not mistaken, an AQ.
We did not talk about it, but let's say bindings in MC.
Yeah, that was pre-allocated. We let it. Yeah, that's a good story, because our first raid we had 3 tanks, and of those 3 tanks, 2 of them were within a small group of 5-6 people who started a little bit with the Black Lotus thing. That was the 1 month before we would start with official raiding, so they had a little bit of reluctance to do that system. So me and Manbane had a chat with those people. 2 tanks, keep that in mind, 2 tanks. Had a chat with those people, and we came to the conclusion together that RIP was not the correct place for them. So we cleared Molten Core. 2 days later, we lost 2 tanks out of the 3 we had. So, of course, me and Manbane already had a little bit of discussion about it, what Manbane knew about people. So we could put some older warriors in the tank positioning a week later. But stuff like that happened. I'm not sure what my point I wanted to make. What was your question again?
The binding.
The binding, yeah. So because of that, we had only 1 warrior at the point. So that warrior got the bindings, and that was in this case Greeds. The other 2 warriors, I think we let him roll. And I think Jekyll was the second one in line, and Sari the third. We only got 1 full set during our raiding. So Greeds got 1 Thunder Fury.
Only 1 Thunder Fury from all of MC?
Yeah, and Manbane recruited someone who had the bindings, I'm not mistaken. But that's Manbane's story, how he did that.
Yeah, amazing dude. You're from Sweden, so amazing dude. But he had 2 bindings, but he couldn't afford the bars. So we had a little bit of discussions like, how can you not afford the
Wait,
bars?
I think I know the guy.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, well, I'm not very good at farming gold, and I was like, okay. We will help you, but we will help you after your trial is done. We can just you can't just stroll in and just boof, and then you say, thanks for the bindings and the bars, and ciao.
Of course.
So after the trial, we actually helped him, and we also set a goal. He had to farm a certain amount himself. And after a while, he actually got going, and so we got our second Thunder Fury.
That was
That was a hairy one.
That was Akumia, I think.
Yep.
Yes,
Correct.
yes. But he stopped before Naxxramas, and we had 2 guard bindings, if I'm not mistaken. So Jekyll had one off before he left to Consanguis, and we have Sarin with 1 binding.
Akumia is the reason why I know a little bit about Rip. Very, very good person, Akumia. I cannot thank him enough. He came to help me. We'll talk about it after, but he came to help me for my AQ40 mount. He was always there to help. Really, really good guy. Really, I love grouping with him and just playing with him overall. Really, really good representative of your guild. I can tell you.
So you were the guy who took all his gold, so he couldn't afford the bars, yeah?
Yeah, no.
Yeah?
No, not me.
Yeah, he was a good guy. Good guy.
Indeed. Okay, let's get back on track. BWL. I was first of all, BWL got released, if I'm not mistaken, got released at midnight. Did you guys went in at midnight, or you waited for your usual raiding time?
We didn't went in at midnight, but I think for Blackwing Lair we did. We started Thursday raiding, because normally we raid on Wednesday, Sunday, but because it got released at midnight Wednesday, so we said, okay, we skip Wednesday and we raid Thursday, Sunday that week.
Okay, so you did a little something for...
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Did you clear on first night everything?
No. I'm not sure how far we got on the first night. Do you remember, Manbane? I remember we had a few wipes. Firemar was one of the difficult bosses for us.
Yeah, I think we wiped 4 times on Firemar.
I got 5 times on my list, but...
Maybe 5 then. And I think...
How far did we get?
I think
did you get to Gromagus?
Yeah, I think we killed Gromagus. I think we stopped at Nephi, if I remember correctly. We had this thing, we didn't mention it for Molten Core. Many times when you see the clears of Molten Core, Warcraft Logs favored people who did a clear in one evening. We intentionally stopped halfway through Molten Core to save the rest of the instance for the next raid day. So we had something to do on both raid days.
Yeah, and that's also important. That's why we decided that, because what's the most annoying part of being a raider in a raid and you cannot raid the whole week?
There's nothing to do.
That's not fun. So we decided we do half multicore and half multicore the second raid. So we always have people who can at least raid once during the week. Of course that changed during Blackwing Lair, but the first phase, yeah, we did that. That's good that you remember that too.
But I'm guessing, I mean, if you were intentionally cutting the raid in half, you would have spent what, 1 hour on the first night and 1 hour on the second night, or?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I think we were not extremely fast, but what did we do? 50 minutes clears up at some point, but maybe faster, 45. But let's say 1 hour in those days. 2 raids of 1 hour.
Doesn't matter. The important thing for you guys was to actually have something to do in your 2 raid days.
And for not, I mean, I can do it in one evening too, but it's for people who I have to bench. You want to keep people with the group, so you need to make 2 raid evenings, and we didn't want to top the speed charts anyway, so we wanted to have the community and have fun together. And when you are farming content, have lots of laughs, lots of jokes, then you are really much less structured than when you are in progression.
It's actually true. So I'm guessing with the arrival of BWL, now you had 2 nights, 2 raids, so everything kind of fall into place, and you can raid MC in 1 night, BWL on the 2nd night. So as a raid leader, you had more leeway, more fun doing it, and also the guilties. One question that I ask everybody else that came, how was the loot in BWL? I'm thinking here more specifically about stuff like DFT, CTS, Rejuve Gem, because I know the RNG is pretty crazy. We had someone saying they had like 9 DFT, 9 fucking Thunder Fury, and on the other end, you guys had 1. Also, last week, they said they had only 1 Thunder Fury. So how was BWL? How did BWL treat you?
Crap.
You look discouraged.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, 3 Drake Frank talismans or 4?
Yeah,
3? 2 Rejuve gems or maybe 3?
We got loads of Rejuve gems, but we didn't get much talismans.
Yeah, what also happens with me when I'm raid leading, I often don't even see what loot is dropping because I'm already a step ahead. But I heard people complaining about Drake Phantasma, but I kind of assume everyone does that in every guild, so yeah.
Besides those guilds that get 9s in one phase only.
Yeah, but DFT is of course, Drake Fang is of course, yeah. It's such a best trinket for all melee, so it's really wanted. Yeah,
it's such a powerful trinket, such a big trinket for melees, for tanks, for DPS. So yeah,
I think we gave prior to the first one to breach, or not? Manbane.
We had a prior system based on their gear setup at the time.
Okay, we had still that system in place, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think it was when the tanks got it that needed it, because not all tanks needed it from the setup of gear they had back then. When they got it, it was free for the other melee classes, new hunters. So.
Somebody saying prio on it item for tanks for a while, Akuria and DFT, which makes sense. I mean, when even more when it's progress, right?
Yeah, Curia and DFT. Yeah. Thanks, chat.
Yeah, but we had great stories. What are the pants from Molten Core that you got in the last raid for trading? What were they called? The warrior pants.
The one which he never got.
No, we got it last raid, but
the belt.
No, pants, but I'm not sure. Something from Ragnaros important for a warrior. Onslaught or something. Onslaught girdle, maybe.
That's the belt.
I think it was that. But no one. We had 1 raider from the start with us, and he always lost the roll. And we have a system. If you are new and you join after 2 weeks, you can just roll like everyone else.
He never got them.
And always the new guys won it. So he was the last one who still needed it with 1 more at the end. So we did the very, very last Molten Core raid before AQ got released. And I said, once AQ is released, we will do have all time in AQ 40. And the bell dropped and he won it. I mean, I was so happy for that guy because, in all honesty, of course, everyone deserves, but when someone is from the start with you, you have a little bit more like, oh, you deserve to win it. But the system is like everyone can roll.
Of course.
And he won it, so I was happy at the time.
I'm guessing it could be the bad side of that system is everybody can roll, so new recruits can also roll. I mean, there's no priority. It's fair for everybody, but there's a bad side, which is that. Well, finally, I mean, at the end, he got it.
And the good side, of course, about the system is that new people, recruits, have a chance on loot too, so they get drawn in a little bit easier too.
Of course. There's, I mean, the DKP system, when you join a guild, BWL, AQ phase, you're far behind in DKP. It's really, really hard to get things going and so on. Anything else from BWL time that?
I think Fireman was a difficult boss. We had 5 wipes on it, and we had the first evening a little bit of trouble there with positioning and tank positioning. But the second evening, we finished Kaltusat. But in my system, Fireman was the only boss which caused us trouble there.
And even Chromagus and Nef was...
Chromagus 2 wipes and a Farin 1 wipe before we killed him.
That's pretty good. So only...
And no one who didn't have his cloak on. So everyone had the cloak on the first pull on the Farin.
That was...
But in farm runs, of course...
So nobody hid behind the throne. Everybody was there. Everybody... That's pretty good. Before we go to the gate opening, because I think we will talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
The dragons. Again, just like after MC, you guys went for Kazakh and World Boss.
Yeah.
You're back at it again right after BWL, before AQ, the Green Dragon. Talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Explain a little bit how it went and how did you guys proceed with that?
The Green Dragons were for Horde, I think, a blessing because they spawn all at the same time. So that means if you are online, you always get at least 1 shot on a boss. Always. So during the Green Dragons, we went a few steps up. We had every evening. During raids, we had scouts, always. And they often spawned on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, then we were in Blackwing Lair. We get the pop-up from the second accounts from our scouts, and we know what to do. So Portal, Orgrimmar, and we always went to Ashenville. Always Ashenville. And whatever boss was there, we tried to take that boss. Of course, they are not all as easy or difficult. Isondra is pretty easy, but Amaris was pretty hard because of the shrooms and all the healing needed. So what we did, Portal, flight pad, so we didn't use summon teams. We just rode to Ashenville. I often got a summon because during that moment when people were moving, I did often a short explaining again of the boss, what we need to take into mind, do the group positioning, because for Amaris you wanted some prayer of healing groups, chain heal groups, so you could get that healing output at those 25% timings out. And I think for the Green Dragons, we did really, really well. We got Leeton, Amaris, and the other one, Terror, Horde first. Isondra, yeah, he was he was always down and almost never spawned in Ashenville when we were raiding. And that time we had more difficulty to scramble on non-raid evenings because we could notice already in that phase of the game that less people were still playing on non-raid evenings. We had a few kills still on those timings with 20 people, Amaris and stuff like that. But personally, I think those scramble evenings were really fun during raid, that we we want to pull Nefarin, and we get the pop-up and the raid and the guild chat like, Dragon has spawned. So I say portal, boom, boom, everyone silent, and then pull the boss and another green nature resistance item for the opening of AQ for the tanks, which was of course, and the rogues was of course important because you wanted the best nature resistance for the ooze and for Huhuran. But the world bosses, yeah, personally I think I'm more proud of the world bosses and that we did it as Horde Guild and that we tried to fight against Alliance than Kazakh and Azurikos.
Is there any other guild that done it?
I'm not entirely sure. I know we were Horde first on 3 of them, but I think at some point Titans killed a few, I think. But I'm not, maybe Manbane knows, he is the guy who got the connections with other guilds.
Yeah, Titans competed quite a while for some. I think he's competed at some points, at least early ones. I don't know if they lost interest after they were killed at least once or something. I don't know. But the Titans were there.
Okay.
They were probably the ones getting some as well. And you had the famous Dragon Watch.
Yeah, what was it called? The Discord.
Yeah, Dragon Watch.
The Dragon Watch. Yeah, I was in there as well.
Yeah, that's a fun story. Because the Dragon Watch guys, as we had a network of scouts and summoners, we had at least 5 people at every spot around Azeroth where they could spawn at their spawn locations. So we had a good network, and we had scouts up quite a lot. That meant that of course, that if any Horde guild did it, or any Horde did it, it was probably us. Which meant that there was a scrambling of some other guilds forming Dragon Watch because they wanted the Horde to have a shot. And they asked us if we wanted to help them. And I thought, well, if they feed me information of where the dragons will spawn, sure, man, I'll join. But they kind of figure it out after a while, and it's like, yeah, but you guys can't kill it when only you need a Dragon Watch with you. It's like, no, if we find it, we kill it. So they kicked me out.
I mean, it's a world boss after all. Zufer said it earlier. Right? It's the one who tagged him first that win in the end. That's
yeah, but certainly the earlier days when we had a few kills. A little bit later, you saw like that. For example, when Discipline got full, I think the first all of those, but at some point 3 were down and only Emerus stayed up. And then I saw, for example, in the afternoon that Emerus was up. And I was like, yeah, I'm still working. Guys, Emerus up. If it's tonight up at 7, we go try it. And we got a few more kills in like that because, yeah, at that point, Alliance was a little bit less interested. And I think the puck groups found those bosses or found Emerus too hard. But the most exciting part is in the early days, and you feel a little bit stressed because you know there is someone competing with you. It's in an instance you don't have that problem. You'd say, okay, if you wipe corpse run, drink a potion, go do a bio, and we pull again. But on a war boss, if you wipe, the next guild picks.
yeah.
And of course, we had a few wipes too on Emerus when we wiped and someone else took over and killed it. That happened to War on Legion, yeah.
I mean, during a raid, at the end of the raid, whatever, making the call of let's go get our boss. I mean,
during the raid,
the adrenaline, the rush, the everything, like you said, during the flight, explaining the tactics, and that must be super fun, super great, being part of that.
And knowing one mistake and it's over.
Yeah, so you move 40% for nothing, basically, or because it was raid night, so you had your 40 people.
Yeah, for a learning moment, yeah. But we had, for example, that we had the Green Dragon just for Nefarin. We had a few tries, I think 2 or 3 tries, and then go all the way back to Blackwing Lair and just be able to kill Nefarin just in time before the end of the raid. But yeah, that's for fun evenings. I really like that.
Challenging for sure. Adrenaline rush in the end. That's what it is, and it's super fun. It changed of the usual raid night, and it put some spice in the raid.
Yeah, because at that time Blackwing Lair was one shot, and the raid is cleared.
Exactly. AQ. Before AQ, the opening, the gate opening. You guys were part of, I believe, you were part of the opening of the gate, the whole preparation of the gate opening. I think there was some key guild on the server, both from Alliance side, a little bit more, I think, from Alliance side than from Horde side. But you guys had a key spot. So how did that happen? What was the arrangement? What was the fire bloom thing? Let's say.
Yeah. So I can explain it. It's not as a cool story as you would believe, even though the Discord guys really wanted to hype it up. But in the very beginning, I heard from Erin Priest in Burnt that he and Dolar was talking about some kind of collaboration for gathering materials. I think they also had some talk with muffin vendors about doing something, and I had a couple of Discord servers ready for fast projects. So I just took one of them and transformed it really fast into the to the pre-AQ prep, the gate opening things. I invited Aaron Priest and Dolar. They also wanted to invite the muffin vendors and Titans. And I think Titans wanted to have also Alliance in because he thought it was really, really important to have a discussion with them. And when the Alliance got in, we had Discipline basically telling us they got everything covered.
Yeah.
But they wanted to have dedication from the other guilds because they didn't want to feel like they did everything themselves, which is fair, right? But the Discipline guys, as they had so much materials ready, they set the tone a lot of how it should go down, and a structure was made. However, the discussion became kind of skewered. We were not in agreement of how much space they would leave for each of the guilds to farm the bugs, because they wanted to have it in terms of amount, numbers, volumes of items collected, where we as a small guild, of course, marketing that we wanted to have it for value, as the Firebloom example is much more worth. For us, it's a bigger task to get. It's more expensive for us to get it. So our point of marketing was that but volume's not good enough for us. We should look at value. But they disregarded it and went ahead anyway and decided a date, which I didn't agree upon. But in the end, it didn't really matter. So the turning in was starting, and they of course saw that the Firebloom was not turned in. So there was a lot of talk on Discord, and the funny thing is that during all of these turning in things, I was at amusement park with my family, and my phone kept pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging. It was Dolar, it was Aaron Priest, it was Titans, it was everybody, and we have a lot of Alliance guilds just telling me, "Don't turn it in. Fuck those Discipline guys. Screw them over, man. Don't turn it in, dude. We'll pay you. Just don't turn it in." it was quite funny to see, because I was an amusement park, and the other officers that had all the logistics ready to turn it in, they were just basically waiting for me to say, just like, turn it in. However, I was also keeping a track of the other materials that needed to be turned in, and that is what people kind of forget, because the fire and bloom, that was not the problem. The problem was the linen,
Yeah.
the wool, the peace bloom. Oh my god, that was a real problem. We were never the problem, and I only held it off to spite discipline. That was the only reason I did it. But then some guilds started to pop up, say, okay, we're starting to collect fire blooms now. I was like, no, don't do that.
Yeah,
Like,
I
yeah,
remember
but we want to turn it in. It's like, oh, dude, come on. Oh, all right, yeah. All right, just turn it in. Doesn't matter anymore. Discipline, I learned a lesson, so just send it in.
Oh, in the end, discipline didn't have everything covered, because I
No, of course
remember
not.
exactly the linen and the peace bloom was really big at the end. I think peace bloom was the last thing with fire bloom to get turned in, so they didn't have everything covered. And
Yeah, but I have a hard time with cocky motherfuckers. If they try to run me over, and I know I have the power to stop them, I will, and I did for a while. It didn't matter, because fire bloom was not the issue, but it was
Yeah.
fun nevertheless.
Question for you guys: you did that, and if I'm not mistaken, you don't have any Scarab Lord.
No, we decided along the way. It was Jiklim actually that was interested in doing the work to do it, and he had the guild backing it up, but he decided along the way that it was probably not worth the time farming it, as there were so many Scarab Lord wannabes at that time. So I think he kind of reasoned out that it will be too much of a challenge
Okay.
for a vanity reward. So he said that he drops out.
And nobody wanted to take the spot, do the grind, and
No.
I think we as a guild, how do I say it? I don't think we had the numbers to really farm that long and put in those hours. And the people who could, some people could, of course. I think they were just too low, and I think the one who won the Scarab Lord role had the same ID. So we didn't farm that stuff.
kind of, to me, kind of weird to be part of the opening, farm all the fire bloom, because it was quite a lot of fire bloom in the end. So being part of the opening, having your foot in, farm a lot of fire bloom, for in the end not having a Scarab Lord.
I think having a Scarab Lord is not the only reason to prepare donations. It's a server-wide event, and we decided that we want to help there too. And I think we should take that role as one of a long-standing guild on the server. So Manbane and the guys who discussed that decided that we will do Fire Bloom, and we got all the Fire Bloom, and we donated that when it was really needed. I wouldn't feel happy if we had said, no, we are not getting Scarab Lord, we won't do anything. I would feel really bad. I would get a sour taste in my mouth of that.
Respect. I cannot say anything else. Respect to be part of the AQ opening without having a Scarab Lord. It shows, like you said, it's community, being part of the server, being part of that community. So respect. AQ. Let's move to AQ. What did you guys want to accomplish in AQ? On the first night. Let's say you guys went in on the first. Did you went in at midnight? Because they fucking released that raid again at midnight. Did you guys went in at midnight?
No, that's not possible for us.
Okay.
We did this. We did the same as with Black. So Thursday, Sunday instead of Wednesday, Sunday. So we raided Thursday at 9
You raid at 9? You start at 9 p.m.?
Okay. Yeah, 3 hours. So 2 times 3, 6 hours.
Okay. What was the goal on first night?
We went into AQ actually. AQ 20.
Yeah, you guys went AQ 20 on midnight, but that was a small group, of course. Not everyone could raid at midnight. What was our goal? I wanted a linear progression. That was something which was important for me. So Bug Trio, the Ooze, no straight line to Cocoon, but the other kills it. No, I want linear progression. So we take the optional bosses before we take Cocoon. That was really important for me.
So you did not fall in the let's say the progress mentality. Let's have a Cocoon kill first to get our name on the Warcraft log.
Because that's not progression. That is just playing for Warcraft logs. Why would I play for Warcraft? I play for myself and for the raid and the guild. If I want a Warcraft log, I should become a speedrunner. And I'm not a speedrunner. That's not my style. I want every boss down linear, and we discussed that with the people, and everyone agreed we do progression. So we killed all the optional bosses before Cocoon. I'm not sure how far we got on the first evening. I think we killed twins, twin emperors on the first evening, but I'm not entirely sure. But what's important, we had all the nature resistance prepared. We had everyone getting 30 greater nature protection potions from the guild bank. That's all stuff we collected during the phases before that. So everyone got a mail from the guild bank at Jahoon with 30 greater nature protection potions. Everyone had nature gear which could be crafted already at that time. Not everything, but that was crafted from the guild to the people. We had everyone a 20 nature resistance green ring for all the soakers and all the guys for the ooze. We had all that bought with the guild bank because we did a lot of selling in multicore and Blackwing Lair. So we were really, really well prepared. So I need to look it up quickly, but I think we got Viscidius in the second try. No, 2 wipes on.
Yeah,
we killed twins.
And we killed all the trash up to Uru and had 1 pull on it.
Okay, so the first evening 1 pull on Uru, but we wiped twice on Viscidius. We did Uru on 1 shot, and that was like, I knew it was easy fight because I remember that from Vanilla, but we were so prepared with full soakers. It was, we just killed it during the end race phase really easily. The other bosses went down pretty quick. It was all again easier than how I remembered it. Keep in mind, I never played on private servers, so it was easier than the Twin Emperors. I was expecting, okay, this will become a little bit harder because I remembered the positioning and they healing each other all the time. Back in Vanilla, we wiped once, and the second shot try was a kill 2 on the Twin Emperors, and it was a perfect kill. The most fun part is that during that fight I do 0 DPS because I'm walking from the right side to the left side, telling to the tank you need to step a few steps forward, coaching those guys on the positioning and stuff like that, because that's your role as raid leader. And it's not a DPS race anyway, so that felt really good that we had that position control really well down. 1 wipe on Uru, and then the second day we finished it off with a few, I think 2 wipes on Cocoon, let me check, 3 wipes on Cocoon, and Uru only 1 wipe, so we one-shotted that the first pool, the second raid.
Any wipe on Princess?
No, it was a 1-shot.
1 shot on Princess, 2 shot on Viscidius?
No, 2 wipes, so the third try.
Okay.
Because we had so much nature resistance gear prepared. And even if you look at my YouTube vid of Viscidius, I wasn't paying attention that when he's below 10% health that you just can't finish it off. So I was like, oh, push it, yelling while we already were done. So it was really, I mean, I remember in Vanilla I never killed the Viscidius. I never killed Uru. I came up till Twin Empress back in vanilla. So for me, that were new kills. So I was, quite happy that we did that.
How many sappers? How many engineers?
25.
24.
24. So it's max 25. But we, of course, said if you want to be really handy, if you become an engineer, not required. But if you have a community, people will do that. So we had a little bit more than half the rate who could throw sappers.
You are I think, anyway, on the Horde side, you are the first guild that is telling that you went for all the optional boss before Cthulhu. Everybody went for the Warcraft logs. Everybody was playing for progress. You guys decided to go another route. I think it went well for you. You were well prepared for everything. Was that so? That was in two nights, right? You said.
Yes. Maybe on the first 3 hours we came up till Uru and did one trial Uru.
Okay, and the second night you did Uru and you did Cthulhu.
Yeah, so we killed Uru right away and 3 wipes on Cthulhu, and then we killed Cthulhu. Yeah.
Did you rehearse Cthulhu in any way? What was the preparation on specifically on Cthulhu for the positioning? Because I think Cthulhu is the first boss where you have to have a big plan if you want, right?
Yeah. I had a big plan. What we did, I think the first 2 raids we used the add-on with positioning, but I threw it out really quickly because I had made mistakes. But I just made a setup, and I made 8 groups, and each group was assigned to 1/8 of the circle, with melee positioning, second melee, and then healer, DPS, or healer, DPS, and they made a group, and I just said a lot, range 10. People keep in mind, range 10, stay 10 yards away from each other, range 10. Of course, we had every now and then a mistake, but
of course,
it were decent kills.
Listen, three pools.
Yeah, and one ninja pool because one stupid pool because I didn't want to make a conga line right away. I was like, that's so much work. And every time I need to make such a line. So let's do a trick with pulling the beam and run in. But they did that once, and I said, no, let's make a conga line.
Is this?
Yeah, I think you saw the clip. That was our first pool when I tried still without.
So that clip is part of your first pool, actually.
That's the first pool. Oh, that's the first pool. Yes.
Let's watch it. Wait. I have it here. Do I have it? I have it. Yes, of course I have it.
And right after that one, we changed to make a huge line on both sides and just run in.
We're gonna watch the clip, guys. Do not move. So there we go. So this is the clip. I'm gonna remove myself. No. Okay. So we're gonna watch the clip, and we'll get back after. There's no sound, obviously.
Move. Don't. 1. Go. Move. Don't. People too late. Let's move out.
That was a good one.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. That was a super nice clip. So we see people. I think it's you, Zufer, that says, "Okay, move. Everybody goes in. Everybody dies."
Yeah.
You start laughing and you say, "Okay, let's go."
Yeah, that was my mistake because that was a little bit of laziness. I just didn't want to make that line, but for the next raid, I just made it automatically in a spreadsheet, so the names were filled in correctly. So I fixed that for the next raid. But So I said, guys, 10-minute break. I'm going to make a line now.
So in your 3 kills, this one was actually one. I mean, it doesn't really count. It's a bad pull in itself, and that's it. That was actually very funny. Okay, so after that first week, before going there, we talk about MC being how you were maybe disappointed that there was actually not a real challenge. Same thing for BWL. Katoon used to be in vanilla, used to be one of the hardest boss in vanilla. Actually, Katoon pre-nerf, if I'm not mistaken, never been killed. Katoon after nerf was quite difficult.
Yeah, it was even, like you said, pre-nerf, they said he was unkillable. We always thought he was unkillable until, of course, nowadays, because we know the numbers now, we can put out that he was killable. But in those days, he was unkillable. And for me, it was like, oh, this is one of the fights I really need to do because I never did it in vanilla. So in that regard, someone who is a progression, a difficulty junkie, because I remember the 100 wipes on Maru back in the Burning Crusade back in the day before we got that guy down. And this was like, okay, he cleared the whole place with the most difficult boss with 3 wipes. Yeah, for me personally, that was a little bit of disappointment. On the other hand, if you are with 40 people raiding and you manage to get people and with the other officers, the group flowing, and you progress. I mean, we killed the Twin Emperors on the second try, but we saw also that, for example, I think your guild was wiping a lot more on Twin Emperors. I mean, that means, okay, maybe we did something really well to get that kill quickly. But I personally missed up till that point, and maybe even in Axramas too, the face on the wall, like, oh, I mean, the Dark Souls feeling like, oh, I finally killed this boss. That thing.
You said it, 100 pull on Muru is an example. Nowadays, you get 10 pulls in and people start to question the whole leadership of a guild or the raid leader, or I mean,
yeah.
It is what it is today. I always find it funny when I see that in my previous guild, like, okay, we wiped 10 times on a boss. I mean, did you fucking play vanilla back in the day? Did you play TBC? I mean, holy shit, this is nothing. And even in retail, I mean, I know retail is not the same thing, but the last world first race, they pulled fucking the last boss in Castle Natria for like 500 times. I mean, wiping 10 times on a boss is nothing.
It's crazy, but still lots of fun to raid with people, of course. I have a little bit of laughs, but the real adrenaline rush when you kill a boss, I didn't have that really yet.
Do you remember first? That's actually a good question. Do you remember first time you had that in vanilla? That rush after killing a boss, like, holy shit, we could
I had that on Magmadar, but that was my first pool as a raider. I was like, what's happening? So I joined that guild, and they were wiping for 2 months on Magmadar back in vanilla, and I joined that raid, and we killed it on the first pool. And I was like, wow, what's happening here? So it was all new because I wasn't really used to raiding, so that was lots of fun, and that was, of course, a different time. But where I'm really, really proud of is that at some point, that with the previous guild I had in the Burning Crusade, which I created and where Manbane also raided with, is that we came from nothing, and that in Sunwell we became the top dogs. It was really like, whoa, I did something with these people, and they are, whoa, that was really amazing. And that feeling I didn't had in Classic so far.
must agree with you. Maybe a little bit in Nax, I think.
A little bit, yeah.
We're coming to that a little bit, but it's not what it was 15 years ago, 16 years ago. Maybe we're too much of boomers to to actually enjoy it like we used to enjoy it back then, or maybe it's just not as difficult as it was. I don't know actually. Before we move on to next, and I think we will invite someone else for next. I think is the time. Do you want to add anything in AQ? Any other is a story, fun story maybe that you guys have in AQ?
Manbane, you always have the good stories.
We had some nice times in all of the phases, but I would say in AQ, I mean, on our progress, it was so fast. It was kind of hard to catch it. We have also a good shout out to one of our hunters. He has black belt in dad jokes. Vecna is he was probably a big reason why farm raids were so enjoyable with his goddamn bacon bullet and all the penis jokes flying around and Zufer threatening people with me slapping my dick on their faces if we wiped again. It's like it was good times, man. Good times.
Bacon bullets. That was
Vecna's pet.
I think that was a boar.
Boar, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think Verlaan made some really nice memes also about bacon bullet. Yeah.
That's really beautiful. Okay. Putting it to you guys, I want, before we talk about Nax, two things maybe that we can do. I saw that because to be honest with chat with everybody, I got invited on your Discord yesterday on a particular channel. You call it the Hall of Fame, where is the place you post funny stuff, funny meme, etc. Every guild has that. Something that piqued my attention was all the movie poster that you guys created. This is beautiful work of art. So I want to go through the list. I think there's like a small, let's say 10 of them. I want to go through the list and to go through that list and after talk about Nax. I think we can invite somebody. I don't know what you think, Manbane?
Yes, we should.
So we should invite somebody. Is that somebody already in here?
Yeah, he is.
He is. Let's do this.
Yep.
Hello. Hold on a second. Let me just see why is it. If I do the transition, it is a complete shit.
Technical troubles, my favorite.
There we go. We are now 4%. I will let Manbane present the newest addition to the interview.
Yes. So here in blue shirt, in the opposite side of the black corner, you have Pumpkin. He's the big brain, along with Zufer on most of our tactics. He's also the bane of Zufer, the one who makes Zufer most annoying in the world, and vice versa. But also, Pumps. I have asked Pumps to co-GM with me in TBC. because I need that help. And he said yes, so that we think it's proper. He was also very much involved in Naxxramas already, of course. So at this stage in the interview, I thought it was be proper for him to be introduced, so other people could also get to know Pumps a bit.
Yep. So hello, I'm Pumpkin, and yeah, I'm going with Manbane to help take us forward into DPC. I played a Resto Druid throughout Classic, so and yeah, me and Zufer were best friends and frenemies at the same time. I would give him work, he would give me work. He'd be, why do you care about this? I'd be, why do you care about this? But at the end of the day, I think we made a pretty good team and we got stuff done.
Exactly, that's important.
Do you guys, Pompol, welcome. Pretty happy to have you here. I've known you since a little while. We never really spoke, but lately you've been raiding with some of my friends. So I've been knowing you through them, through their stream and so on and so forth. So welcome. Happy to have you here. First question: were you part of the network that Manbane had? Did you play with them on retail?
No. So my story of joining RIP is quite interesting, actually. I had some casual friends who weren't intending to raid who joined RIP, and I had a group of friends. I had a bunch of people, and I was like, I kind of wanted to play Classic, right? I played Classic. I played Vanilla back in the day. I played Burning Crusade. I played Wrath. I kind of faded out around Cataclysm. And I wanted to come back and experience Classic, and I wanted to experience like progression through Naxxramas, which I never did back in the day. And I had a bunch of choices for where to go, but there were some people who really wanted to push hard. There were a couple of people I know who are in guilds that they were, we want to target being top 20 in the world. We're prepared to raid 4 or 5 days a week, and I didn't have that in me. I wanted to be part of a guild like that raids, a couple of nights a week, but is still, very serious about getting stuff done when we do it. And I didn't know where to roll. And I had nightmare experiences on PvP servers back in the day of just not being able to get anything done, dying constantly. And I was like, nah, you guys go off and do your PvP, big server dreams. They're rolling on like, Gehennis and places like that. And I was like, nah, I want a more casual backwater. And I had a few friends who were playing here, and they were playing in RIP because they knew people from back in the day, but they had no intention of raiding. And so I just joined this guild to level in and meet some people and chat to. And very quickly, I started talking to Manbane about what the guild was, and I realized that I'd accidentally found exactly what I was looking for. And I had quite a lot of experience back in the day in vanilla, and I've got the kind of brain that loves to understand how a game works. Like I get frustrated if I don't understand the mechanics of something. So, for example, when we first went to Onyxia, and Onyxia had all that crazy stuff with GUIDs and was fireballing the wrong people, and I was sat there for hours afterwards looking at logs going, what the hell is she doing? This isn't how she's supposed to work. But yeah, I very quickly realized that RIP was basically a perfect fit for me. And so that's how I joined the team.
You joined, when did you join? You joined at the early stages?
In the first week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
But I wasn't in the guild before we started, but I joined in the first week.
Okay, so you experienced everything with RIP. Okay, perfect.
I remember being in RFC with Manbane, and Manbane giving me tips on healing, and he's not done that for a while. So.
Yeah, because you play.
Why don't you drain life and life that, man? Come on, see how fast my health goes back up.
Because you play a resto druid.
Yes, I play a resto druid now. I played a holy priest druid. Well, actually, I played a mage in vanilla to start with, and then the guild I was in really needed healers, so I ended up taking my holy priest into a main. So I didn't know what I wanted to be, so I was like, I'll be a druid because then I can be anything.
Yeah, of course. Cool.
You know, Pumps, about you joining and seeing it as a perfect fit. First of all, the motto of my company is "We make the perfect fit." That's number one. Number two, if you want to make the perfect sale, you want to make the other guy think that he wants by himself what you want already. So, welcome.
It worked out.
US
Now I think you found your home.
US salesman in real life, Manbane?
Yes.
Good tell. Good tell.
He knows all the tricks of the trade. Really beneficial.
Cool. Okay, so I wanted to go before we talk about next. I wanted to go through the movie poster that I don't know who created them, but they are pretty funny. I'll show them one by one. So first one, let me just there. So first one is the one in MC, right? So Molten Core RIP group number 4 with the main players Generic, Rogue, Peldor, Bronco, Villan, and Schwartz. Pretty funny. So what's the story behind this?
The group without the shaman. They never got a shaman.
Yeah.
The infamous group number 4.
So no shaman.
Yeah, I think that was a raid where we were a little bit low on shamans because of bouncing. So during the whole raid, we were all the time making jokes of them. Yeah, group 4, no shamans. So it became a kind of meme during the raid, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, people were trying to get swapped in and out of the group, and
Yeah.
It was a proper farm raid where it was just messing about. But yeah, group 4, and they died all the time as well. So it was like that was the thing. It was like, okay, so they didn't have Wind Fury, but they still managed to pull aggro and die all the time somehow. So yeah, the group 4 was a nightmare, that raid.
Another funny one, and we just talked about it. Let me show it. It is Bacon Bullet, as we can see right here. Bacon Bullet, a little pig goes a long way. So
yeah.
pretty funny one as well. And you guys have a whole series of them, right?
Yeah, but the Bacon Bullet is fun because after the twins you have pretty long pulls, and Bacon Bullet often dies, of course. So he was the hero for the raid, you know.
Yes, Bacon Bullet died for our sins.
Yes.
Another good one, and I think there's a story. There's a story behind it. You see it right here. So the defining chapter of Phase 4, the raid ID.
This is a special one too.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was the tinfoil hat people thinking that we didn't get bindings because the wrong people were in the instance first, namely Zufer. He was always in the raid first. So he had the raid loot for the evening, and Zufer always there. That's why we didn't get any bindings. So we sent in Seraphy at one time, and we got the binding. So there's your poster.
Yeah,
that was the last Molten Core we did before AQ.
The last week before AQ, so it was like, man, we won't get a Thunder Fury. So agreed, told Seraphy, you need to go inside the raid first. So she made sure she was there in first, and then the second bindings dropped. So that was really special for Greeds, of course.
Yeah, we got to go into AQ with a Thunder Fury.
Yeah, an own Thunder Fury. We had, of course, Akumiya. But...
Oh yeah, we had Akumiya's, yeah.
So that was really special.
Another one here. The fastest taunt in the West.
That's Villan bragging about his own ability to taunt, which is pretty good. He's pretty quick at taunting. But he plays a DPS warrior, so perhaps not the most useful skill.
Yeah, that's from the packs after the Twin Emperors too. Yeah.
They're pretty. Okay, one last one because I think this no. Yeah. This one is good as well. The Gates of Ancourage. Wow, classic. Rip and game. I wonder why.
Your stream seems to have frozen up.
Did it?
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, everything seems fine. Did it?
It's frozen up and chatter complaining, so I think
it's frozen up in chat. Wait.
We have some technical difficulties.
We have. It's actually Discord.
Oh.
Yeah, I see something again.
Transition. There we go. There we go. We are good. We are back. So yeah. The Anchorage in game. Anyway, you have a whole bunch of those. They are really funny. I think it was nice to show them.
Yeah, Balan is really good at doing those.
So
really good at it.
All of them are made by Velan.
Yes.
Yeah, and he made a lot of positioning graphics for the tactics too. So then me and Pumps wrote a little bit of tactics, and then he made it visual by a picture, so people could see it easily too. So he did a lot of visual work for us.
Naxxramas. Let's talk about Nax. One thing you said earlier, Zufer, was everything you guys did, everything was for Nax. All the preparation, all the Black Lotus, we talked about it. The guild bank, the preparation, the single player preparation, the guild preparation, everything was for Nax.
Yeah.
How was the approach? What was important for you guys?
Well, what's really amazing, and I think that's we were with 4 officers, Manbane, Pumple, and me. The 4th one, Jahoon, who's not here, was managing the guild bank, and before we even entered Naxxramas, he made sure we had all items for the frost resistance sets ready, except the frozen runes, of course. We got 1500 frost protection potion, 1500 greater fire protection potions, besides the Black Lotus bank, of course. And the Black Lotus bank, which was of course very good for us. Blizzard changed the game a little bit because we thought beforehand that Black Lotus would become more rare, so we were a little bit less value than it should have had, what we thought. But we had everything prepared, and the same can be said about the tactics. Me and Pumps did a lot of preparations for tactics, and we decided that we would go the construct quarter first. So, for example, we had a discussion about it, and I'm good in an overall view, but I'm not really good in the small little details. So Pumps, for example, he made he created with mathematics how we should heal and do patchwork, and that was really amazing. I think Pumps can tell that story the best, but explain.
I actually wrote a patchwork simulator, which simulated damage coming in from patchwork, because we didn't go in the first night, so we got to see some logs, and we also got to see the logs from the PTR, right? So I wrote a simulator that simulated the damage on the main tank, the damage on the Hateful Strike tanks, and then I calculated, assuming people are using mana pots and dark runes on cooldown, how long healers could cast a particular rank for, and if they just chain cast that rank on the tank, how long will how long will they be able to go for? And then you just run that simulator thousands of times and see how many times you kill patchwork and how many times you don't kill patchwork. And we managed to tune the numbers to the point that we had like a 96% chance of success. And then we were like, okay, we're good to go. And then we found a quirk actually, which took us to almost 100% chance of success. I think I ran the simulation 5,000 times and it failed once, and that was the Baron's buff, which we only used once. We only ever used it once on Patchwork. Oh, no, we used it once. We lost world buffs.
The Baron's buff.
The buff from the little guy in the cage in Cap Tarajo.
The blood shards, I think.
The blood shards, yeah. There's a guy in a cage in Cap Tarajo who gives 25% armor for 10 minutes. When you hand in some blood shards as part of a level 19 quest or something. So to be 100% on Patchwork, we had the tanks summon there, grab the buff, take them back in, and that 25% extra armor takes you from Patchwork can't kill you then basically if you play correctly. And we knew who to heal. We knew exactly what rank to cast on who, and I was very confident we were going to kill Patchwork. I know not everyone was, but I'd done the maths and I was confident, and we did. We one-shot him, so that was nice.
Yeah, that was amazing, and I think the perfect example of how you prepare for something which you expect to be really difficult. Because, yeah, I remember Patchwork as okay, wipe, wipe. That's how it was back in the day. So I was like, okay, we really need to prepare well, and I really need the mats for that. And Pumps did such good match that we went there. Of course, we had world buff still. And one shot, and it was like, whoa.
That was one of I think the loudest cheer might have been on Patchwork, actually.
Yeah, because
it was
at that
very loud
moment,
cheer.
it was the start, and of course, the first boss, you always have a little bit of extra tension, like, how will it be? And we could have decided to go Spiderwing first, because that's the easy call. But we made on purpose the call, let's go Patchwork, because we expect him to be more difficult. But if we wipe there, it can also kick back on motivation, on how people feel, because we are wiping on the first boss. So that was an extra push for our mood and keep going. So I was really happy with that, and I was really proud that we did it. So yeah, that was a good cheer, Pumps, true. Yeah.
Any other boss you sim in there?
No, it was only really Patchwork. None of the others are quite lend themselves to it like that. Loatheb to an extent you can.
Saphiron, no?
So much moving parts on Sapphiron, right? You've got
that's true.
You've got people moving. You've got different randomness on the resistance values. You've got Patchwork is just so simple, right? He just hits you, and you hit him and heal. That's it.
Patchwork is like Brutalis, straight up damage, not much moving. And when you get moving into the equation, number calculations are often more off, because that's hard to expect what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So for Patchwork it was perfect, but you can't do that for Sap, for the Frostworm, which was also of course a fun fight. But the Construct Quarter for us, I think the biggest issue we got with Glut, I think, with the skeletons.
Gluth was the hardest. The zombies on Gluth was we never went into Gluth completely confident, did we? Gluth was always a bit like we probably get this, but
yeah.
But I mean, we had the same strategies as everybody else. We just seemed to run into bad luck frequently, right? Like a mage would get dazed by a zombie. We'd get some resists. Just never quite got Gluth. I mean, we were killing him regularly, but yeah.
Yeah, but Glut was not always stable. But on the first night, we had 5 wipes on Glut, and then we killed him.
Do you remember our wipe on Grobulus with the trash?
Yeah, we had 1 wipe on Grobulus too.
It wasn't Grobulus, it was the trash. The trash ran at us, kicked the tank up in the air, and then Grobulus came running down from above. We were like, oh.
Yeah, it's not really a wipe on Grobulus itself if the trash was there as well.
Yeah.
One thing before we go further, one thing you mentioned, the Black Lotus. What was the deal Actually, for the usage of the Black Lotus and Naxxramas, was it for everybody to use at every moment spent in in Nax, or was it only for the tanks? What was the goal of the one Black Lotus a day, up to 50 Black Lotus per raider?
Yeah, we stopped collecting Black Lotus a little bit before Naxxramas. The focus was on progressing Naxxramas, so at the end we had 2,400 and a little bit of Black Lotus, and the deal was it's for the people who are raiding with us at that time. So we distributed equally Black Lotus. I did this. We distributed several batches to people, and they got the first week wave, I think 15 to everyone, something like that. So they could use that for their potions. They could maybe sell a few for a little bit of gold for other potions, because in Naxxramas the requirements went up. I said flasks for everyone when I call for it. The potion requirements went all up because our plan was Naxxramas is hard. We need full preparation. So lots of potions were required. Most people got war buffs. It was not required, but it was kind of normal to do it. So it was to give people gold, Black Lotus, so they could even, if needed, buy some stuff, because we are in a way a dead guild, and we can't expect people to farm thousands of gold each week. So that was the idea, and that's also why the change of the Black Lotus spawn rate was a little bit backfired to us, because for us we expected to be that they be at least 150 gold, so people could buy some stuff from it, but the value was devaluated. But we split it around everyone, so also the people who just joined, they got the badge too, so they never donated Black Lotus, but they got Black Lotus too, because they are here in the important phase where we want to progress. So it was distributed among all the members.
So it was not as long as they had the flask when you asked for, they could sell the others to buy other. Okay, that's clear. That's pretty fair, pretty cool.
In my opinion, it is, because, yeah, what I said, if someone is only raiding with us in Blackwing Lair, Molten Core, and leaves, we still have a little bit of value for Naxxramas, and we use that for the newer people who replace those people who left. And I think that's fine, so they don't have to farm as much.
But the journey with the Black Lotus was, it had some very positive side effects.
Yeah.
I remember in the earlier phases, I think it was in Blackwing Lair, people, other guilds were basically putting MC and Blackwing Lair on farm on one evening, and then they had played alts and whatever. So the activity in a lot of guilds went down rapidly, but not in ours, because we always split it up, and also due to requirement, which sometimes can feel a little bit tough. Black Lotus back in BVL was between 80 and 100 gold a pop. So we formed unintentionally, but we formed the Black Lotus Mafia. Which basically meant that we knew how the spawning points worked.
That was before the buff, nerf, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So we took over the one zone, often in Eastern Plaguelands. We had people on Discord sitting there just watching with the timer. We knew that in some place now, within 10-minute span, it will spawn in some of these points, and we had people on all of those spawns, which frustrated a lot of people, especially the bots. But it created a kind of a community as well. We did something together, and it was a positive side effect that we didn't really anticipate. So it was good times.
I'd rather have player get it than any bot whatsoever. I mean, in the end,
yeah. I mean, so now Zufer can drive around in his Bugatti, right?
Yeah. That was a bit of a joke during the AQ time. So I said, yeah, what are you going to do with all the Black Lotus? Yeah, I'm going to buy a Bugatti.
What color? What color?
A blue one.
A blue one. Why? Okay.
No, I have no idea.
Color are not to be discussed. The blue one, I respect that. You would look like a pump in his shirt
Yeah.
right now.
It will be bought in his honor.
Cool. Let's get back to BWL. So your first
Nax.
Next. Your first roadblock was actually Glut.
Yeah, we killed him the first night, but he was
He was
took
quite
more
a
than-
struggle after. Okay.
Yeah, we had 4 wipes, so it was in the grand scheme of things, he was not that bad. He was like 6th or 7th on most difficult bosses in Classic for us.
So after that first night in Nax, so you started with patchwork, one-shotted patchwork. You kept on your until where? How many bosses did you guys add in total on that first night? Do you remember?
Yeah, we killed Thaddeus on the second pull, I think it was.
That is second pull, correct?
Second pull on Thaddeus. And then we went to Plague Wing, right? I think we killed Noth.
Yes.
And
Hagen, I think we wiped, right?
Yeah, we wiped on Hagen. Yeah.
Hagen, I
couldn't
got
dance.
6 wipes, so that was one of the more difficult bosses.
People couldn't dance.
People couldn't dance.
Yeah.
Not the first evening.
So I think
The first evening, actually, I have the logs here. We did patch up to Noth, and we ended it after Noth.
Okay.
Yeah, so a few wipes on Hagen or not?
No.
No, okay, then it was time already. Okay.
So it was Patch, Grobulus, Glut. Then you went straight to Thaddeus after? No, you went
straight to Thaddeus, and then we went to Noth.
Okay.
So we cleared the Abomination Wing, and then we went Noth.
Why do Thaddeus after? Oh well,
It's the next boss.
Next boss.
I had Gothic in mind. I'm sorry, my bad. I had Gothic in mind. I was like, why? What's happening here? Okay, and then not. Okay, so that was first night. Second night.
We did Spider Wing, cleared Spider Wing, and then we went to Hagen, and we had a little bit of dance party there. We wiped a couple of times. It was great fun. I never missed a dance step. King of dance, dad. What? He went down.
Yeah.
1 minute before raid end, but he went down.
Okay, so in the first week we had 4, 7, 9 bosses now.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. That was on release week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the 6 hours we had without, I think that was good. And Naxxramas was time-wise the most challenging boss, but you will see in the progress we made in the second week that we decided to always go new bosses first to get a new wing. So I'm not sure what we did on the Wednesday on the second week, Manbane.
Noth, we one-shotted Noth Hagen, and then we killed Lotheb after some wipes.
Yeah.
After quite a few wipes and quite a lot of Greater Shadow Protection pots.
Loa Tap was our hardest fight in the whole game. We have 13 wipes on Loa Tap. That's the most than any other boss. So we went there the second week on Wednesday, yes. So we came there, we lost our Werbuffs on Hagen, so we had to do it without Werbuffs, Loa Tap.
Yeah, we had world buffs. We had some world buffs for the first pull of Lothar.
Yeah, some Werbuffs, but some, But so we wiped the first pull, so we had 12 wipes off it without Werbuffs, and we had to kill it without Werbuffs. And I think that was at that point was pretty difficult for us. It was really, really all the time just dying before he dies. So I was like, come on, guys, come on. And chugging shadow protection potions like mad. Luckily, we got, of course, 30 potions from the guild. So that saved us a lot. Saved us a lot of farming time. And for me, that time when he finally killed him, I think that was the best feeling from Classic I had with Loa Tap, because I felt we were really pushing on the edge, like those 1, 2, 3, 4% wipes. And I think that was really fun, and it was the biggest roadblock wipe-wise for us. Luckily, you can pull pretty quick on him, and you don't have... yeah. But it was a really fun fight because you have to time all your chugging, your bandits, your whipper route, and we had that was a really good call also. We had some changes on the tank gear after Pumps did some analyzing during the raid to get a little bit more armor up, I think it was. I mean, those things that was impressive, in my opinion.
You said something quite interesting. So for progress and Nax, every new week you wanted to start with new bosses that you did not kill. It's quite interesting because you from my point of view right now, you risk the chance of not killing the boss that you killed, so that are on farm. So less chance of loot, less chance of gearing up your player quite early in the let's say in the phase.
But you see the common theme here, right? The common theme here is gear doesn't matter, really. Not much. As long as we don't lose players, because if you lose players, you lose a shitload of gear, right? So our loot system and everything, the whole mentality is don't care about loot, guys, because loot is not important. As you see, we cleared the whole thing, and many other guilds did as well. And I'm 100% sure it's not because they fine-tuned their loot. 100% sure. So why farm the other things? We have gear enough. We can do the whole shit.
So it was really to keep people interested, keep people...
Yeah, and also, I mean, if you go Spider Wing, Construct Wing, Plague Wing, then you have every week to do Spider Wing because you go there first, but you already have that on farm. And with 6 hours, that was for us a huge problem. If we didn't have the wing system with so many bosses, we could have gone to the Frostworm much quicker. But we have to. So we decided like, okay, let's get a kill on everything, and then let's start getting the speed in on the wings to get some shots at Zafirion, at Kal'Thuzad. And every week going Spider Wing, every week going not Hagen. I think you lose time then. So we decided to do wing progression.
Yeah, I remember having that conversation with you where I said, or we were both saying to each other, right, we've got 6 hours. If we farm all of the content that we've got, and we know that'll take us like, let's say 4.5 hours, you've only got 90 minutes to learn new stuff. If you just go straight to the place you've got to learn new stuff, you learn it, you do that a couple of times and you've had everybody learn it. And then when we're going for getting to Sapphiron, we know we've got 6 hours to kill 13 bosses. In fact, we really need to kill them in 5 so we actually get some pulls on Sapphiron.
And that tank pumps is what made the second full clear of Naxxramas.
Yeah.
And we come on that, but that was a really special run.
It is quite interesting nonetheless to start with new content every week for progress, right? I have not seen any other guild do it that way. So yeah, it is quite interesting. If I put myself in the Raider's shoes, quite interesting, quite fun actually. You have to always be prepared for new content, for new stuff. So really cool. I think it's one way of I don't know how to explain in English, but one way of making it last a bit longer than what could actually be. Because if you always start like Zufer was saying, so you always start with the same wing, becomes boring quite fast actually.
And also I was watching your other interviews, It was playing from the top guilds that progressed faster than us. It got KT faster than us. Quite a few of them actually during the progression of Classic did private servers for practice.
Indeed.
Yeah, we did not do that. We talked about it and we decided we will not, because we're here to have fun. And as the bosses are falling over to the left and right, if you want to catch that unique moment that every raider really wants, the sharing and woo. So how would you get that if you do all the private server things? You don't. But it makes sense from a speed running perspective, right? So from their strategy, it was the right call to do private servers, but for us, not at all.
Yeah, because I know we talked about doing PTR for world bosses, because I wasn't on when you were talking about the world bosses, but you only get that one try at the world boss and then some other guild pulls it, right? And so we were a bit like, we're pretty sure we could have, it took us a few goes to get Emerus. And we were like, we're pretty sure we could do Emerus if we could have a few practices at it. And we said, like, to the guild, we put a poll out, do you want to do it? And the overall consensus was just no. And to be honest, I'm kind of with them on that. So we decided we were just not doing that for anything. So most of us have some people play private servers, but I think a lot of us were either on 50-year-old memories or they were encountering the content for the first time.
The chase of, like we said earlier, that first kill, that first cheer, that I remember. I mean, we all play vanilla. We all remember that first boss we killed, that first time that we wiped 100 times or whatever, and then we got the kill. I mean, we all remember that, and I think that's what we're chasing today.
Yeah.
We're not in our early 20s or in our teens anymore, and we play that game exactly for that, to have fun with friends, killing bosses, and chase that fun moment.
I think that era is slightly past. You see that it's not as much in retail anymore.
That's true.
So it's when you have to try over and over and over again for like 20, 30, 40, 50 times. That's when you get that feeling. So I guess you have to wait until you're 60 and try to jerk off, right? That's when you get the feeling again.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, but that's a point.
Am I wrong, Pubs?
Just
okay. So you okay? So first wall was glute.
Yeah.
What was the second one? Did you add a second one? I'm thinking,
Yeah, lower tap was the most difficult guy.
we spent 2.5 hours on low tap, right?
Yeah, that was the hardest boss for us. And after that, we had, of course, the military quarter left with Gothic and the Four Horsemen. So we went focus on that.
So just because of the raid scheduling, we didn't realize quite how tricky Gothic could be, because I think the first couple of times we did Gothic, we went there as the first boss. And so there's no trash there, right? Because after you kill Resuvius, the trash despawns. So we were there with well buffs, and he just kind of died. And we were like, oh, this is easy. And we later discovered that without the well buffs, it's a little trickier. You've actually got to do some things a bit smarter.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Four Horsemen was quite tough.
I think Gothic is the most undervalued boss in all of Nax. You just said it. When you have world buff, quite easy boss, nothing much to add. But when you don't have world buff, you can hit a brick wall on this boss.
It was hard to repeat, but our first kill was without war buffs after 3 wipes, so it's not extremely much, but we had in the process of clearing the place again to get to the Frostworm, to get to Sapphirian, every time we had like 1 wipe, or maybe 2 wipes, so that's cutting down the time you have on reaching further. So that was a little bit of what Pumps is saying. It was a little bit nagging us every time, again a wipe on Gothic. That.
Yeah. How about Resuvius, for example?
4 wipes.
4 wipes?
Yeah.
Before we killed him, and mainly mind control mistakes.
But hold on. On Resuvius, I mean, you can reset it, and it doesn't really appear on the wipes, right?
Yeah, it was 4.
It was
okay.
Yeah,
it was 4. But you'd done Resuvius before, I believe. Zufer, you've done Resuvius
Yeah,
before.
I did Resuvius in vanilla as priest too with mind control.
So the kind of most important role, we had somebody who'd done it, so that kind of helped a lot. Although one of those wipes was absolutely not your fault. One of those wipes was just resists. Nothing you can do about that.
Okay.
But yeah, Resuvius was pretty easy.
Perfect. I'm asking because I know he's a pain in the ass boss. I mean, it's kind of boss. You go there, even though with world buff you can easily lose 10, 12, 15 people. It doesn't really matter on this boss, world buff or not.
In fact, in many ways, the world buffs hurt you, right? Because the DPS put out so much DPS, and the things tanking him don't have world buffs, right?
Exactly.
So I think world buffs make it more likely you're going to die.
So it's a pain in the ass boss, I think.
Yeah, I think the 4 Horsemen was more difficult because he's second on the list in difficulty. So
okay,
we had 10 wipes before we killed the 4 Horsemen.
Yeah. And we never did the cleave thing. We've seen some people burn a boss down.
Burn claim
but
first,
yeah, we never did that. We always just did the rotation, did the classic rotation.
Okay, so a longer fight, but a more
control fight. Yeah. I like it. So I really wanted the movement, of course, on one side. I don't think the cleaving tactic suits us as a raid at that time because we never been a bursting raid. So you need to adapt, and we learned the raid to be positioning, controlling stuff.
Which part was the most difficult on 4 Horsemen? The tanking, the range DPS, or the healing?
The meteor was the most difficult. Sometimes you had to stay in. When you run out, some people got the 4 tick, so then the healing was just that late, or someone didn't chuck a fire protection potion. So on that side, always went something down, and all of sometimes a tank in the back died. But I think the meteor was the most difficult thing consistently.
I think getting the meteor sorted so that people stayed in, like the call of the meteor is going to be late, stay in. Having somebody responsible for that turned out to be very helpful. Yeah. And the other thing was getting the tank gear correct, right? Getting the right mix between fire resistance and normal mitigation and threat, right? It just needed a lot of little tuning. And of course, people needed to see the fight, right? Because it's one of the most complicated moving pieces fights. And when you describe it to people, they're just like, what am I doing? And then once you get into it, you're like, oh, I just do this for 3, and then do this for 3, and then do this for 3, and then it's actually quite simple.
Yeah.
We had a couple of very frustrating wipes, right? We killed both of the front 2, and we wiped to bad positioning and a chain that killed half the raid, didn't we? And I think we also wiped to the tank in the corner on the one that drops the void zones. Yeah. Just put void zones everywhere, and the tank couldn't get out. And then she ran in the middle, and she put a mark on the people in the middle, and then it was all over.
I can relate dying to void zone. I can.
Yeah, I've heard that you might have some experience with that.
Wiping though when you have only the Bloomer and Zelik up is quite unfortunate. It must have been piss you guys off to wipe on those 2.
Yeah. I thought we had to kill, but
no, we didn't. The next time we did. The next pull we did.
Yeah.
Every time it happened, you start counting your fire resistant potions. Like, oh no, please, no.
Okay. How did you approach Sephiron?
The the most interesting thing is that after we cleared 4 horsemen, we had all 4 wings cleared. So then the time was to make sure we clear those 4 wings in time and have some time. And that took quite a few weeks. We had Christmas during a day, so the raid setups we were full. But
did you raid during that 2-week Christmas?
Not on the holiday itself, but on the day the few days before. Okay. We skipped the Sunday, but the Wednesday not. Okay. So we had a perfect composition because some people were back to family, were on holiday, so the composition was not perfect. So in those weeks it was a little bit more wipes there and there, so it took a little bit long. After the holidays, we finally could get in, and we had lots of one-shots and got time for Zafirion. On the first evening, when we got there, I was a little bit stubborn. We didn't prepare for healer stacking, so I was like, okay, we are going to do it with 12 healers. So we did like 7 wipes in an hour. And guys, we have seen the fight. Good job. You know what's happening now. And the next raid, we had 10 wipes, and the next raid we brought in a little bit more healers. So that's the first fight where we really did raid stack healers, and then I think it was with Warbus. He was down the next raid.
I think we had one. We had that one with 12 healers where we were never going to kill him. Then we came back with 15 healers, I think it was, and that was the first time we've ever swapped some people out in the middle of the raid for an encounter.
So we had 10 wipes on Zafirion before our first kill.
And then we had a couple of goes on that, and then we came back the next time we had well buffs because we got to the point we only had Lotheb left, right? We killed everything, including 4 horsemen. We just had to do Lotheb and Sapphiron. And so obviously we came in with well buffs on everybody and then just killed him. Which again, it kind of like, it's one of the things we felt quite sad about really, is just how big an effect well buffs has on the game. Because I got the most satisfaction out of killing things without well buffs. And I know several people in the guild were like that. We had people in the guild saying, you know, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we raided without world buffs? Can't we be a no world buff guild? But we're also a 6-hour guild, right? And world buffs help, and world buffs get things killed. So it was a tricky trade-off between those, because if we'd have chosen to go without world buffs, I think we'd have been months more before, or maybe like 16.
Yeah, but the good part is, I think the week after we got Zafirion without world buffs.
Yes.
So
we did get Zafirion without world buffs.
That was my next question.
I'm thinking for you.
Have you killed Zafirion now with fewer healers, with 12, 13 healers, with your normal, let's say, raid group? I'm guessing 15, so, right?
The 15 healers was with me respecking Holy. The week after I decided I seen the fight, I can go Shadow Priest, and I'll use I got the VE slot, improved VE for extra healing, so a half healer. And I think we went to 1 down pumps at some point,
yeah,
so 13.
Yeah, we did it with 13.
We did it with 13 healers and me then.
Perfect.
13 and a Shadow Priest, yeah.
Obviously, going there, your first kill with 12 healer was a bit
you on like the second pull that wasn't happening, but we did. You still learn, right? You still learn that there are
of course.
And hide behind them, and you learn how important the decussing is, and you learn how the blizzard moves, and people need to see this, right?
Of course.
Watching videos is fine, but experiencing it is different.
This is what progress is. This is what pulling, again, I'll come back to that. Zufer said 100 pull on Muru. This is what progress is. Being able to work as a guild, being able to work as a unit, where to go, what to do, at what moment, when you hear something, or you know, all those reflexes that you need to acquire, you do it by pulling bosses and by wiping and wiping and wiping. Katie, last boss. So you kill Sephiroth. You went back, killed Sephiroth. How was Katie? Last boss.
We went to KT that evening. I think we had 1.5 hours left or so. So I think we got the pull or 6 in. We got him to 16 or 70% that evening. We had a little bit of problems with the frost blast on melee. We had the quarter, each 4 groups of melee.
Okay.
But still, we had some chaining that evening. We had some frost pass people dying. We had some mind control people dying. So we did decent. I mean, 16% on the first evening, in my opinion, was good, but it was not perfect. So we had
no
16%.
world buff. No world buff.
No world buff. Yeah, no world buff. 16%. So. So the week after, we were a little bit slow in killing the other bosses. So we were really late at Kaltuzat. I think we had 3 tries or so. And we were really like itching for that kill, so we made the suggestion to do 1 extra raid that week.
Yeah, which is the first time we've done it in the entire game.
Yeah, so 1 extra raid that week on, I think, then the Tuesday. And that Tuesday we went in with war buffs. And he was dead.
Yeah.
And that was our first kill of Kaltuzat. Of course, this was now cleared, so our goal was completed. We did what we came here for, so whoa, this is it. And then the most amazing thing happened the week after. The most amazing thing. The ultimate clear. We did 15 one-shots to save after. And I was like, whoa.
Wait. You did 15 boss in one night?
No, 15 one-shots. So all bosses killed on the first try. The second week. So our second kill on Kaltuzat was a first kill.
On all
first
bosses.
try. All bosses. So I was like, whoa. We completed the game. At point I thought, okay, we did. I can't improve here. So that was really like.
I cannot agree. I mean, as a raid leader, 1 shot every bosses. What's left? What's left? No.
I mean, there are some people that would say, "Oh, doing it faster is better, or doing it with less people dying." But honestly, it was a pretty good achievement, and we were really happy with it. And that's what the kind of guild we are, right?
Exactly.
We're not a guild that cares about the speed we do it at. We're a guild that cares about getting it done efficiently, and I think we did that.
This is exactly what I was gonna say. I mean, if you're not a speedrunning guild, what's left? Killing bosses, first try, killing bosses. I mean,
but that week we were a machine. I mean, I think I was in a positive mood, everyone, and the focus was
everything clicked.
Everything I said, boom, 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 boom. Pulls were really fast, not as speeders, but okay, next back and bam, 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 and it went so smooth. It was, in my opinion, for us the perfect raid. So I was really happy. So that second week, so the second Kaltuzat kill was the perfect week, and then we only had 1 thing left: get Atish.
Was
and
it?
Of course, we had 3 or 4 new people in for that run, right? Because all the people who didn't get the Kaltuzat kill, we wanted to get them in for the second week.
Yeah, that were 6 people. I think 6 or 7. Yeah.
Was it the last time that you went in Nax, actually?
No.
Okay.
1 week. We did 1 week more. We did 3 Kaltuzat kills.
Okay, and that was to get an Atish. Did you get the Atish in guild?
We didn't get the Atish. We were at 39 splinters. So normally you say you get a 40 splinter. So I made the remark like, guys, with Zufer's luck, with my luck in a raid, we stick at 39. I said that a few times. So in that week, the first evening, no splinters. And I was like,
killed 11 bosses and got 0 splinters.
0
Somebody-
splinter and 11 bosses. Oh, shit.
Second rate, no splinters. 15 bosses, no splinters.
No.
So I was like, we wanted this week, but it didn't happen.
And the decision was made for you guys to stop raiding. I'm guessing. I mean, the decision was made before that week.
It was complicated because there were quite a few people whose goal was to kill Kel'Thuzad, and then they were cut it down, and there were some other people who wanted to keep going, right? So it was a little bitter, but in the end, like, you can't force people to play if they've achieved what they want to, right?
Of course.
So me and Manbane, we knew people in other guilds. We tried to do our best to make sure we got people to get where they were going. So we got that Atiesh med. It's kind of good. It's a little disappointing we didn't do it ourselves, but if the RNG gods are going to give you 0 splinters in 15 bosses,
that was but the person who won the role has an Atish now and did it with another guild, so that person joined another guild. Yeah,
one fucking splinter.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, because of the benching system, I had to bench Mitsuko. And on that evening, 4 splinters dropped. And someone else got those.
It is, I mean, when you follow, if there is rule in place, you follow those rules in place. It is what it is. In the insight now, how did you find Nax, Zufer? You said you were disappointed in about every raid, from MC to Khatoon. I said Nax was a little bit better in terms of difficulty. Did you find it that way on your side as a raid leader?
Yeah. Up till Naxxramas, the most wipes we had on the boss before the first skill was on Firema with 5 wipes. Naxxramas, we had Hagen 6 wipe, Kel'Thuzad 6 wipe, for Horseman 10 wipes, Zafirian 10 wipes, Slow at Tap 13 wipes. So that's indeed a step up. I don't feel like it was a true challenge I hoped for, and how I had it in my mind from 2006. The knowledge of how warriors and melee, how they can push their DPS, how tanking knowledge has changed so much with Fury tanking compared to what we knew back then. And world buffs, of course, which we use much nowadays, created a situation. Knowledge you cannot forget, so the knowledge made the raids easier. And that's a small, a little bit sad about that, but for the rest, I had a great time with the people and raid leading and doing something where I'm good in raid leading. So yeah.
Manbane, on your side, from what you recall from Vanilla?
I agree with Zufer there. I went in with the mindset, even on playing on some private servers before Classic launch. Everything just fell over, even on the private servers, at least for MC and BVL. So I was kind of mentally prepared that they were the more boring instances, but I was really looking forward to AQ. But I think that it was Classic difficulty-wise was a major letdown. We over-prepared for sure for quite some things, and I think that also meant that some people were getting more tired of Classic faster than we might expect. But the talk of TBC came around the corner in Nax, which also was kind of disappointing because, as I said, the worst boss in Classic is the roster boss. And what happened in Vanilla was that the TBC was announced, and people wanted to quit and wait for TBC because Nax was so hard.
It's true.
And we saw that many guilds struggled, many guilds fell apart in before Nax and in Nax. So a little bit disappointed there, but I would end it in a positive note. I had so much fun. The team that we built up from the first, and all the preparation and everything, the whole journey was wonderful. I think I had the most great time in Classic than I can remember. The guys we have been raiding with is just they're fucking awesome. Even DAVT.
Yeah. That's some praise. No, yeah, the guys were great, and you know the fact that in some ways, the fact the content was quite easy at times. You could goof off for a little bit. We could have our jokes. We could make our memes and our in jokes, and yeah. But we are all hoping that those of us that are going to play TPC, we are all hoping that TPC might give us a bit more of a challenge. We're hoping Blizzard have kind of like learned their lesson from what came out, and I'm kind of hopeful those statements like we're going to give you not bugged but not nerfed bosses is going to be true, because yeah, I remember I played TPC, and I remember, you know, Muru. I did the version of Muru where he had the spell pushback, and it was just unfair. And I also remember trying to kill like Kel'Thas when he was bugged, and he would just come out of his bubble and run around and kill all the healers. So I'm glad we're not getting those versions, because those weren't fun. Those were just incredibly frustrating. But I wouldn't like to get a like we saw. You know, we saw what the 1.12 talents did to Molten Core, right? Molten Core wasn't built around the idea of 1.12 talents, and it showed when you went in there with warriors who were doing the kind of DPS that people were doing in Nax, but in Molten Core in pre-raid gear. And yeah, it was a different game. It was a different experience this time around. So I'm hoping that they learn the lesson from TBC, and TBC is a bit closer to the memories.
Let's hope so. I think they like you said, they said it. They said that they are going to give us TBC like it was, not nerf TBC. So hopefully it will give us a little bit of a challenge, or actually more of a challenge than what Classic was.
Yeah.
For all, you know, raiders, but most importantly, I think raid leaders and officers and so on, because you guys are putting a lot of effort, a lot of time into it.
Hashtag no changes. Get rid of drums.
Yeah, the drums. Let's yeah, we could go on about drums for a while. Let's not.
Some changes, I would say.
Definitely some changes.
Some
Hashtag
changes.
some changes.
Yeah. I think
the changes I want, right?
I think we all learn. And yeah, let's not talk about the drums. I mean, real TBC, you add the drums, right? So I think it's part of the rotation. Anyway, let's not talk about that. We will spend the whole week. Next question will be for Pumpkin. Am I pronouncing Pumpkin?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Pumpkin, same thing. One's a character name because Pumpkin wasn't available.
So you're coming in TBC as co-GM to help Manbane. You've been an officer, I think, for some time now, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, since the start.
So it's just I believe with the position that you have is just taking a little bit more of a workload, right? What is RIP plan in TBC overall? What do you want to accomplish, and also the changes that TBC brings on a Git?
So I mean, I think the key things are the key things that RIP always were. We're not focused on speed. If you're the kind of player that wants to get 99 parses, we're probably not the guild for you, because we're not going to support the things that are required to do that. And in TBC, I can see things like you needing to have 5 shamans shuffle through your group in order to get a great parse. Or, we never built these meta comps with 15 warriors, right? But what we are focused on is, and we're also a guild that tries to raid 6 hours a week, and we made one exception for that in the whole of Classic. And we're not really intending to make exceptions to that where we can. So I think our real goal here is, as Manbane and Zufer said earlier in the interview, we're a dad guild, but we want to be a very efficient dad guild that gets things done. I could say our goal is to be like, one of the best dad guilds on the server. We know there are going to be people that are going to kill things faster than us. We know there are people that are going to get ahead of us on Warcraft logs progression, because that's not really our target. I guess our target is to, with the hours we spend together as a team, be as efficient as possible. So I guess a goal would be to kill things as fast as possible, given the amount of hours you spend doing so. So that means we need people that prepare. It does mean we need people that put in some time outside the raid to, when Burning Crusade comes out, we'll be in 5 bands, we'll be in heroics, we'll be getting all that gear that we need to make sure we're ready to go when the real challenge arrives, which I perceive to be tier 5. I think tier 4, when we get into Karazhan, we should be okay. Gruul and Magtheridon, we should be okay, but we want to be ready to go when Serpent Shrine and Tempest Team come out, and we want to do the best we can with the 6 hours we have. So, what we're looking for is those kind of players who have got that kind of mentality. They're not aiming for those 99s, they're not Warcraft logs focused, they're not loot focused, they are group focused. What can this team do together, and how can this team smoothly progress through these instances when they come out?
Question for Zufer. Are you still scared of Muru?
No,
This time around?
I'm not scared of Muru, and I do not plan to raid lead in the Burning Crusade. So.
Oh, okay.
So I cleared the place back in the day, so there's no real achievement for me there to. So.
Okay.
So I plan to play a little bit of casual, and we'll see what happens.
So just there to enjoy the game rather than prepare everything and do everything on backstage.
Yeah, correct.
You put in so much hard work in Classic. I think you deserve an expansion of.
Exactly. I mean, I'm a raider, so us raider, we don't see. I've been an officer before. We don't see the work that officer, raid leader put on behind. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of preparation. You guys, you're known to be the best prepared. You were known to be the best prepared guild on the server, I think. Having spreadsheet, having sims for patchwork, having everything laid out since 3 months before Classic hit. It's a lot of work. So yeah, I think having.
But that's a conscious decision to know beforehand what is going to happen, what you need to do. And I made that decision. Like, okay, I have the time. I had some stuff happen in my real life. That's why I got more time in the evening. So I think, okay, I can raid lead. So you know that beforehand. So the time is not the thing for me. I mean, I did it back in the day, so I knew what was happening. But for me, what's really important, I need that thing I need to achieve. I need that challenge. And for vanilla, for classic, it was I missed a lot of bosses because in vanilla I didn't have the guild to achieve what I wanted to achieve. So for the Burning Crusade back in the day, I created a guild where I could achieve my goals with people who have the same vision as me. And I achieved those goals. So for me, re-achieving the same, I know for myself that I will be less motivated to do stuff, so that will only be a bad choice for the guild. So the guild is better off with someone else doing that hard work.
Hello.
You are going to do to raid lead?
No, I'm probably not going to raid lead. But obviously, another thing that comes up in TBC is the fact that you've got Karazhan at the start, right? So you need multiple people able to pull people through Karazhan. Some people will say, "Oh, Karazhan will sort itself out," but the first couple of weeks, there's going to need to be some direction there to get people going through. But we have a couple of people who are interested in raid leading. Obviously, getting the raid leading sorted out is going to be really important. But I have raid lead before, and I think we're going to be all right.
I think so too. How are you approaching the 40 man, going from 40 to 25 man?
I mean, I suppose it's good news is that the reason we stopped raiding Naxxramas is that there were a bunch of people who have achieved what they wanted to achieve, which was clearing Naxxramas, and so there's a natural drop off in players wanting to play Burning Crusade. So that actually helps us because we've basically got we've got a couple of holes in the roster to fill, but once we've done that, we've got a team ready to go.
So you're actively recruiting today?
Yes.
What role are you guys wanting to fulfill?
So that's a little complicated because we have some people who have said that they're interested in playing multiple roles. So we're recruiting for everything's on our website, which explains what roles we're recruiting for. That website is guild.rip, by the way. That explains what roles we're recruiting for. There's more on there than there are actually spaces because we've got some of that's like, oh, I'll play a warlock or I'll play a shaman. So we can recruit either a shaman or a warlock. So yeah, we need about 3 or 4 people, and then we've got a healthy roster.
So guild.rip, guys, if you want guild.rip, if you want information about how to apply to RIP for TBC.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add to this wonderful evening? Any stories? Anything you want to add?
I mean, I guess I think there was quite a big achievement. I think we felt one of our biggest achievements was that Saffron kill without world buffs, right? I find it like strange how much of a difference world buffs make. I knew that they made a difference, but I didn't realize coming into the game just how big they were. Just what a boost they give to your character, and so I was happy that we killed everything in the game without world buffs at some point, and in many ways that feels better than that kill we went back to Kel'Thuzad, right? Where we went back with world buffs and we just killed him, and he just fell over, and it felt like a different fight, right? But the time we killed him without world buffs felt better, and the time we killed Saffron without world buffs felt better, and the fact that instead of giving up on Lotheb, we had people who were prepared to sit there and do Lotheb for 2 hours until we got him down. Those to me were some of the best experiences I had in the game. And obviously we don't have world buffs in Burning Crusade. So everyone's doing this. No one's being like, oh, we'll just wait until we get world buffs and come back tomorrow and kill it. Everyone's got to do it straight up. And I'm looking forward to that.
Thank fucking God, no more fucking world buff in TBC, man. Holy shit. I was in the, maybe you don't know, I was in a speedrunning guild, and
yeah,
my motto was always, I've said it countless of time, you did not kill a boss until you've killed that boss with no world buff. And I stand by that saying till this day. It is 2 different fights, completely 2 different fights.
Yeah.
You brute force on one side, or you do the fucking proper mechanic like it was meant to be. This is why I ask always the beginning was, did Ragnaros submerge? Because it shows that you can actually do proper fight, proper execution of a fight. Do the fight like it was meant to be done back in the day. And this is important. And like I said, you haven't killed a boss until you've killed it with no world buff.
To me, going in with world buffs, intentionally stacking the raid with world buffs, is like pressing difficulty mode easy in a new game.
It's true.
I would do that when I'm 8.
Yeah, don't get the challenge though. It's not satisfying, is it?
Yeah.
No.
Want easy game, go Mario Bros or whatever.
I think every guild can decide for themselves, but we have our opinion about that, and
Yeah.
at least I know for sure that we killed all bosses without world buffs.
Yeah,
It's quite an accomplishment. We did in my guild right now. We did Sephiron with no world buff, like I think 2 weeks ago, and it was our first time, and yes, you can feel the difference. It's not the same fight. And anything else?
Just like to say thanks to everyone that came along for the ride with us. Looking forward to seeing quite a lot of the same faces in Burning Crusade, and those of us who are off to other games and other adventures. You know, I know we made a community that's going to hang out on Discord. We're going to keep talking crap. There's still going to be silly memes going on in those channels, and made a bunch of friends along the way. It's been good.
That's the part of an MMO, making some friends, and it's always good to meet new people and meet different views on the world and on life.
we still have Kendi, who shows all those desperate housewives and Kardashians streaming in our Discord almost every day.
And thanks for giving us a venue to talk about it and.
To each his own. I mean, to each his own, right? This is like the blue Bugatti of Zufer. I mean, who would take a blue Bugatti?
That's a joke too, because I bought on purpose the blue Lego Bugatti. And I was like, guys, I got the Bugatti.
Well, guys, it's been a pleasure to have all of you here tonight to give us a glimpse of what RIP what it was, what it is, what it want to be in TBC. I've learned so much. You guys did run a tight ship, and it paid off in the end, I think. You were prepared. You were prepared for next. You did it. To me, if I can resume, you did it the right way, is what I would say. By doing by doing a queue, keeping Ketun at the end, killing all boss with no world buff. You know, being prepared for next, having a goal. As Manbane said, the biggest is the rooster boss. So all of this, if I can resume, is you did it the right way. That's my point of view of that's what I learned tonight about RIP. I hope that everybody else as well learn this or anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody out there in chat wants to buy some Firebloom, they're on sale this week.
I have Black Lotus as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, the Black Lotus as well.
Is there a Fell Lotus scheme coming?
No.
We're thinking about if there's going to be a similar system, but Burning Crusade is its own beast, right, with its own set of requirements. And I mean, to be honest, as I think we said earlier, right, if Blizzard hadn't changed the Lotus spawns, those Lotuses would have been a lot harder to find. So.
And the Fell Lotus system works so much differently. Back in the day, we always used flash con progression in Burning Crusade, and no one had any issues at all with getting it.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
and you can actually be lucky and get, if you're an alchemist, get 3 of them. I think the max 3 or 5. I don't remember.
I think you can get 4 from a craft. Very unlikely, but you can get 4 from a craft.
You can get 4. Yeah. So yeah, it become more manageable. No world buff. Only 1 battle and 1 defense elixir, or whatever they call it.
Or the flask.
or the flask.
Or the flask, so yeah, it's pretty more manageable.
Yeah, much better.
Mm.
Although, interestingly, that's not what it was at the start of Burning Crusade, right? In patch 2.0, it was the same system, and you needed like 1 million consumables. And I'm glad they changed it, and I'm glad that's the version of Burning Crusade we're getting. You know, when I said earlier about changes, I don't want a world where I need 6 elixirs and 3 food buffs and alcohol, and I'm glad that's not what we're getting, right?
We've been doing that for a year, for more than a year.
Yeah,
Now.
no more.
Enough of this. I'm okay with the two elixir or the flask and the food. I'm okay with that. But the rest, fuck it.
Yeah.
At one point, it's enough.
That's not what makes the game fun for me.
A little bit of a shout out to a name that actually was not mentioned at all tonight. A guy that helped Pumps so much during your deep dives. You know who I'm talking about, Pumps?
Yeah, I know. Thanks,
Yeah.
fella.
Thanks.
Yeah, fella kept my sanity at times and kept me pointed in the right direction when I was off on crazy tangents. So yes, thank you for being my fellow scientist and working through those things.
We had a guy that quit quite early, but he has been helping the guild ever since, with transferring from Alliance to Horde, etc. And that's Rover. Also, special thanks to him. Not your work. We seen what you did, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
the fact you stopped raiding with us in BWL and yet still spent like 9 months working on the guild bank. Thank you.
I can mention everybody, but you know, I already said the greatest team I played with, so I'm looking forward to TBC.
Loyalty.
More drama.
That as well.
We didn't have that much, so
no,
yeah, maybe we'll get.
We have too little drama. Where's the drama boss? Huh? Maybe we can have some people. We can sponsor some sex changes in the guild. That would spike the drama.
You want me to call Ole for TBC?
Ah, now we're talking.
Can arrange. I'm sure I can arrange something.
If you go in a dress, I'll go in a dress.
I'm not. I'm not scared of nothing. Actually.
Azuma played a shaman for most of Classic. He wore a dress for most of it, I'm sure.
Already, because I play shaman. You as well, huh? With your druid.
Yeah, mostly in a dress.
Mostly in a Siam dress, I guess.
I went from the Stratholme dress to the AK-40 dress. Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Guys, anything else?
No. We're done.
Thank you very much. It was, quite honestly, it was a pleasure to have to get to know you, get to know all 3 of you, get to know Rip, get to know the guild. I really wish you well in TBC. I wish you great success. Zufer, take the time, have fun. I know being a raid lead is quite of a job. Take a step back, have fun in TBC, and Manbane and Pump. Good continuation. I'm sure Rip will thrive in TBC. Great things await. I am really sure. Chat, thank you
for having us on.
Chat, thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone who came and support, follow, sub, and everything. Next week we have the number 10, so the last interview, or anyway in this series. As I said in the beginning, the goal was to interview the 10th guild on progress. Next week will be the last one. Number 10 is Sentence, because the number 9 guild declined to come, sadly. So Sentence, Dex from Sentence will be on the show next week. Again, thank you very much, everybody. I hope you have a good end of night, a good weekend. Peace. We are out.